Dear Kenya, 5 years are gone. We are here again. We are here to build a resolute Kenya. We are here to build a peaceful Kenya. We are here to build a better Kenya. It is your right and responsibility to participate in a peaceful, free, fair and credible election. It is your civic right, your religious duty and your social responsibility. My dear Kenya, on 9th August and after the election day, I urge you to pursue peace and prosperity of our beloved country through word and deed. Listen to this. Accept the election results that are announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, appreciating that only the IEBC has the authority to announce election results. Encourage anyone who is dissatisfied with the election results to seek redress in courts of law as provided for in the Constitution of Kenya, and refuse to participate in mass action or demonstrations regardless of provocation or incitement before, during or after the elections. May this be an election with a difference. Do your part, Kenya. Pray for peace, and as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone as recorded in Romans 12 verse 18. Always remember, mimi ni Mkenya, wewe ni Mkenya, sisi ni wa Kenya. God bless Kenya. Yours sincerely, Kenya.
Absolutely awesome afternoon. Today it is Thursday, today is Thursday, the 11th of August 2022, and we want to welcome you, tacklers. We know you have been camping on your phones, tablets and computers waiting for the Tackle with Gerald Bit Talk. That is your hub for accurate and the news that you absolutely are certified of, and you really want to know what is happening with our election. It is election season in Kenya, and we are here and we are ready and we are well set to give you the news of what it is that is happening out there. We are working hand in hand with stakeholders across the political divide, stakeholders from Azimio. We thank you, our people from Azimio, because you have really totally come through for us with information of what is happening in your stronghold. We also thank the people in Hustler Nation. We also thank the people from Wajakoya side. Salute the people from Team Wajakoya and the team from Waihiga Mwaura. We had to look for you, but thank you for finally coming through for us and giving us information about what you feel is happening or what you would want us to relay to our viewers. And as usual here on The Tackle, we love playing the national anthem because it is a universal world of prayer. So indeed, as we are going on and trying to find out and trying to catch up with you so that we can give you information of what it is that is going on, because we have got a lot to talk about, people. So keep it right here on The Tackle. And in a very, 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 very short while, Steve, our boss, he is my boss, he is our tech guy, he will be playing the national anthem as a word of prayer. It is now 4:30 and Kenya decided on the 9th, and up to now we are giving you information and feedback of what it is that has been happening behind the scenes after Kenya has decided. You are live on The Tackle with Gerald B. Talk, and Kenya has decided, and here we are to relay to you and to report to you what it is that is happening. What we want to request from our viewers, our followers, our fans on The Tackle, we want to plead for patience, tolerance, and just take it easy. Everything is in control. Whether you're from the Azimio side, whether you're from George Wajakoya side, whether you're from the Hustler Nation Kenya Kwanza side, or you're from the Waihiga Mwaure Agano Party side, take it easy. At the end of the day, it is our country. Whoever is going to take the mantle is going to be ours, all of us. So we do plead with you to have a whole lot of tolerance. The same way you cannot choose your family, as Kenyans, we cannot choose whether we want to have each other or not. We have each other. That is the constancy. So we want to ask you and request you, Kenyans, to be of peace and to be of love and to have that patience, because things are in control. We have institutions in place. Wafula Chebukati is there. He is going to give you the information that you are looking for. Your party, the party you subscribe to, be it Agano, be it Wajakoya. What's the name of Wajakoya's party? Roots Party. The Roots, we salute you, people from the Roots Party. You've been sending us like messages from here to Kingdom Come. We salute you, Jama. We do salute you. People from the Hustler Nation, people from Azimio, we salute you, Azimio folks. You have been our partners in this business. You have been our fans. You have been our supporters. You have been following this from the beginning up until now. And at the end of the day, we are going to continue being brothers and sisters, and we are going to continue loving each other, and we're going to continue working together and living together in the same country as we wait for the institutions that are mandated by our constitution to relay to us this news. So I know you were waiting for this broadcast. Maybe you have been waiting too long, but too long is not too long when it comes to your country. So I want us to go straight to prayer, and like is the norm here on the tackle in the election period, our prayer is the national anthem. When our founding fathers picked the words for our national anthem, they knew it is what is going to be giving us that grace and that peace when we want to go into supplication to our Maker. So, Steve, the national anthem, please. Everybody, fist to chest as we pray for our nation on this auspicious election season. Absolutely awesome afternoon live here. It's actually evening. It is 4:30. It is 34 minutes past 4 in the East African capital, in the East African nation of Kenya, in our capital of Nairobi. And we are live on The Tackle, where the news is bold and credible, and you are informed right here on The Tackle. And we want to tell you this: if it has not been posted or reported on The Tackle, then it has not happened. We want to ask for tolerance and patience from our viewers and fans, and we want to go directly to the happenings of the day. And we have been seeing on our social networks and even on the feed for our followers what has been going on. Everybody saying my fifth is the fifth. Yes, your fifth is the fifth. We do agree with you. As Kenyans, whoever is going to be the fifth is going to be our fifth. But indeed, we want to raise a disclaimer that for those who have been sending us messages and asking us whether already Wafula Chebukati has declared a winner for the election, not yet. We are still here waiting for the reports from the IEBC. And in the meantime, before we go to the issues of IEBC, we want to go straight to our contacts at the DCI Kenya. And of course, we do know that the Directorate of Criminal Investigation have been looking at a situation that happened in Kimilili. And the Directorate of Criminal Investigation Kenya has sent a message to all media houses, and they have sent a message out there to all of the 50 million of us Kenyans that it is warning that Honorable Didymus Baraza, who has gone into hiding after an incident that brought about the brutal murder of one Brian Olunga, Didymus Baraza is being requested to surrender to the nearest police station within the next few hours. The DCI had said earlier on it is 6 hours. At that point, we cannot be able to calculate the hours. Probably it is less than 6 hours right now. But yes, indeed, we do report here that that is what the DCI Kenya is saying. And we do ask for the people of Kimilili for you to be patient. We know that the law is going to take its legal course and nobody is going to be victimized. We know that we have received assurances from the DCI that nobody is going to be victimized, that the situation is going to be handled in the most polite way. The Honorable Baraza is wanted for a situation that led to the murder of a gentleman called Brian Olunga, who was shot in the forehead allegedly by Didymus Baraza and his people on the Tuesday, August 8th at the Chebukwabi in Kimilili, Bungoma County. A specialized team of sleuths based from the Elite Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau are looking into the matter. We do plead. From the tackle here, we are pleading. Our people from Kimilili, we have received hundreds and hundreds of messages from you asking us what is going to happen to your MP-elect. We are yet to receive that official notification from the IEBC about his position as the MP-elect. Yes, indeed, we have seen reports that on the IEBC website and the Form 34As, but we really do want we are waiting for the returning officer's messages so that we can broadcast it to you so that you can feel assured that that's our MP. But indeed, we do know that your MP-elect or the person that you're worried about is going to be taken care of and the law is going to take its course. So we do plead for tolerance for the people of Kimilili. The homicide department has been dispatched to augment the teams on the ground for the search of Didymus Baraza, and action will be taken against any persons found to be harboring the suspect. We do remember the other time when we were looking into the issue of Honorable Babu Owino, and everybody was asking what is happening with Honorable Babu Owino about the issue of the situation that was there. And even here on the tackle, we told you, calm down. The law is going to take its force. So the same way we pleaded with you here on the tackle to calm down and to not let emotions overtake you, that the issues are going to be handled by our very able DCI. We do plead with you to calm down, that the issue is going to be handled. We know that things got out of hand and temperatures heightened, but we do plead with you to calm down. Kenyans, we ask for tolerance, and we do plead with our legislators and anybody who has got their firearm to keep it at home. Steve, you remember that song? There's a ganja song that normally says, do not bring your guns out of town. You've got to leave them at home. And you have seen the situation even in the United States of America, where we have school shootings, where we have random shootings in shopping malls. And we do ask, indeed, if you have a registered firearm, at this point where we are having high-octane politics and heightened emotions, kindly leave your firearm at home so that if somebody pisses you off, because indeed it comes to a point where people disagree. If somebody pisses you off, point to na kidole but usimpoint na firearm. We plead for tolerance. Our fans, our people, our followers on the tackle. We have followers from across the political divide, and we are looking at the news that affect you, the people from Azimio, the people from Kenya Kwanza, the people from the Roots Party and the Agano Party. We are taking care of you. And when you saw us not broadcast today in the morning, is because we were looking for people in diaspora. Some people were asleep, but indeed it's not because we could not broadcast. Yes, we could broadcast, but we were waiting for a declaration from the IEBC because we want to give you credible news, because the tackle is bold, it is credible, and it keeps you informed. You are live on the tackle, and we want to look at the news that have been happening across the divide. So there is this lady who was the pilot who flew Raila Amolo Odinga, who became the first MP in her area. I want to look for her name. Her name is Sharif Athman Ali. Is it that? Can we look at that detail? Okay, as Steve gets me those news, there's this lady I want to highlight, because you know me, they call me toxic feminazi, but I'm not toxic. I'm just passionately pro-women. I love it when women are in leadership, because women are nurturing and caring, and they take care of everybody, including the men. So men, you shouldn't worry when us women are in leadership. We will take care of you. You are our priority. You are our people's bwana. So indeed, we want to look at Captain Ruwaida Mohammed, who has been a pilot since 1999. She has flown prominent politicians in the country, and she is the Lamu East Member of Parliament. She quit her fly-high career as a pilot. Wow. Oh my goodness me. I have people keep telling me, oh, so unazaingia politics. I'm like, no, I am not quitting journalism for politics. I love journalism. But she quit her high-flying career to focus on politics. Are you kidding? When she was still serving, and she was running on a Jubilee Party ticket, and she garnered 5,499 votes in a hotly contested race. And she was the only female candidate battling out with outgoing MP Sharif Athman. I had mentioned Sharif Athman. He was the outgoing MP of the UDA, of the United Democratic Alliance. And it is a win for the women here in this particular context in Lamu. Other contestants included Wipers Mohamed Madhubuti and Kombo Shekue, Khale of Kanu. And indeed, her win was announced by the Lamu East constituency returning officer, Mr. Stephen Karanai at Faza Secondary Constituency Tallying Center. So indeed, Ruwaida has been declared the MP. And she said that she was very happy with the Electoral choosing her without voting along gender lines, because this win was not really about gender. It was about what she is going to deliver for the people of her region. And she was the only female contestant. She says this: I was the only female contestant in this particular race, but I wasn't deterred. I knew the time had come for Lamu East to vote for change, and I thank everyone for believing in women's leadership. And I want to assure you that I will do all it takes to ensure that Lamu East constituencies attains the change that they deserve. Now, this lady has flown a lot of politicians, including Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga and outgoing Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho. So we are here on the tackle, and we are telling you she was the pilot at a whole lot of situations where she had to fly Raila Amolo Odinga, former Prime Minister, Right Honorable former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and outgoing Mombasa Governor Honorable Ali Hassan Joho. This was the pilot who flew them, and she made her first entry into politics in 2017 while still flying. And she won the Lamu Women Rep on a Jubilee Party ticket. And Lamu County is divided into two constituencies, Lamu East and Lamu West. We know that Lamu does not have that huge population, but this lady has made history as an MP in Lamu after flying prominent politicians. She was vying on a Jubilee ticket, and it is a win for women across the county. We are still waiting for an official report for the presidential elections. I know that's what we're waiting for. We have it. Do not touch that dial. Do not move at all, because we have got the feed. When you see me online, and ordinarily right now I would be somewhere in Shags trying to do shopping for kids who are going back to school on Monday and trying to find out whether their hair has been done. I'm here because of the presidential elections, and it is the tackle, and our Captain Gerald Bitok is somewhere in the tallying centers and looking at the information that the IEBC is going to be disseminating to us, and a declaration is going to be made at some point. I am not going to declare here that at what time, but we know that it is going to happen, that the IEBC is going to give us. The national returning officer is Wafula Chebukati, and he's the one who is going to be telling us who is president. I know everybody is saying my fifth is the fifth. Indeed, your fifth is the fifth. And here on the tackle, we are telling you that your fifth is going to be the fifth. The numbers are going up and down. Everybody is getting a little bit tense. We do ask for tolerance, and we do assure you that things are being taken care of. There was a situation in Kirinyaga County. There was a very intense situation in Kirinyaga County where women rep, the sitting women rep, Purity Wangoi Ngirishi's husband, blocked a government vehicle transporting election materials. She is the Kirinyaga gubernatorial independent candidate, Purity Wangoi Ngirishi. Her husband, General Andrew Ngirishi, caused a stir after blocking a county government vehicle suspected of ferrying election materials. We do remember Purity Wangoi Ngirishi was a staunch member of the Hustler Nation. She later moved to independent, and the Hustler Nation, or the UDA candidate for the gubernatorial seat for Kirinyaga is the sitting governor, the incumbent governor, Anne Mumbi Waiguru. And we can see that witnesses claimed that election material were being ferried in a different vehicle. We do want to let our viewers here at the tackle know that it was a claim. It has not been established by our people on the ground, but witnesses claimed that election material was being ferried in a different vehicle before being transferred in a government vehicle. And Grishi's husband was very, 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 very upset, and her supporters blocked the vehicle and took custody of the alleged election material. And the DCI is on that, and the police took the vehicle's driver into custody for questioning and to protecting from the crowd that was baying for his blood. And we do ask for tolerance. Kenyans, we have institutions in place, the police, the DCI, they're going to take care of business. A scuffle ensured earlier on in Kirinyaga after Ngirishi demanded a retallying of votes. The Kirinyaga gubernatorial candidate and her lawyer, Ndegwa Njiru, we know Ndegwa Njiru, we know him. He has been up and about. He challenged the IEBC official to conduct a retallying of votes before the gubernatorial results are announced. We know that's, according to the constitution, that's a little bit of a push. Something has to be done in the courts before that is done. But the lawyer stated that Ngirishi was within her rights to demand the retallying of results amid accusation of malpractice in the county, which have not been confirmed by the IEBC of the police. We do ask you for tolerance. If it has not been reported on the tackle, it has not happened. So indeed, when there is malpractice, we will report. Anne Mumbi Waiguru raised the alarm on Wednesday, yesterday, when she termed what she termed as broad daylight election misconduct in the gubernatorial election. In a statement, Governor Waiguru alleged that 2 stuffed ballot boxes were sneaked into a tallying center during the vote counting process. That was one hell of an accusation. And she is the UDA candidate, and Wangoi Ngirishi is an independent candidate. And the Kionyo presiding officer, the Kionyo presiding officer was arrested at some point for submitting forms late for South Ementing. That's a different story. Sorry for mixing that up. My point was that indeed we have got to have that patience and that tolerance, that anytime something happens, We have got to wait for the authorities to say that indeed, even if you don't trust me or the other person or whichever authorities, be sure that this election is being watched even by international observers who are sending messages directly to the tackle and telling us what it is that we can be able to declare online. So we ask for patience and we ask for people not to be jittery, that anything that is happening, we are going to be looking at. So looking at other news across the country, there was a red carpet ISIS video for Azimio KICC. I have been sent this message by our point person at Azimio. Thank you so very much. We want to thank our partners at Azimio. You have been keeping us on the loop. And they told us that the red carpet Azimio KICC video circulating purporting to be preparing for celebration is not current, that it was shot during, it is an old footage that was shot during Mother Karua's unveiling. So indeed, we want to let our Azimio followers know that we do not have current red carpet Azimio videos, and when we have them, we will post them here for you on the tackle. Please do not judge us by our last names. Our names do not betray us. This is a media house that is unbiased. We report news as they happen. And what we want to report right now is that in Kapseret, Oscar Sudi has retained his seat as the member of parliament in that area. We will be reporting other members of parliament, governors, senators who have retained their seat depending on how the IEBC reports are. And we are bipartisan. You might know me personally. You probably are my family member. So maybe I whispered to you 1 week ago in the family get-together who I'm going to vote for. But when I am here, when I wear these headphones in front of this microphone, I am broadcasting what it is that is happening actually on the ground, my preference notwithstanding. That is why the tackle has stood the test of time as an unrivaled, bold, and credible, unbiased media house that indeed we might look small, but we are big out there. We have got our tentacles everywhere, and we want to assure our followers in both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza that we are not going to play around with your emotion like it's happening around. We are going to give you news as they happen. So stay put. We have got everything right here on our gadgets. And if you look at what was happening in Bomas, Ali Hassan Joho, governor of Mombasa, the sitting governor, the outgoing governor of Mombasa, was sharing a light moment with Kipchumba Murkomen. I saw our guys, they were sharing that on our official WhatsApp page, and I was like, these guys are friends, so why are we catching feelings over them? They are both in different sides of the political divide. And let us look at what is happening in Ukambani. I saw something, Steve, did you see something about the Machakos girls? There's a lot of girls that are happening down there in Ukambani. Wakamba hoye, my in-laws hoye. There is what is happening. We have got MPs who have been elected. The ladies have struck an image. They have done their thing in the 2022 elections in Ukambani. We have done our thing. And there is Susan Ndunge Kiamba. Susan Ndunge Kiamba, that is the lady who has been chosen as the Makueni MP. And this lady has made history. If you can scroll down from what that has been posted by our people on the ground, Susan Kiamba of the Wiper Party has made history after she became the first elected woman member of parliament for Makueni constituency. Apparently Makueni mchaguangi warembo, raundi mumeamua ni mama. Speaking to the media on Wednesday, August 10th, after being declared the winner by the IEBC. She was declared by the IEBC, sio ile ya fununu. Susan Kiamba expressed that her win would motivate more women to join politics. Steve, if you remember the other day, we were talking about women in politics. When one woman is in politics, they motivate other women. And we want to assure the boy child and the gentlemen out there that once ladies are in leadership, you will not be tormented, you will be taken care of, because women are known to be nurturers and mothers. So Susan Kiamba has taken the Makueni constituency seat, and she will be taking over from Dan Manzo. And she was hoping that she's going to boost other women into leadership. You noted indeed that our president, Uhuru Kenyatta, was very keen on the issue of women coming into leadership. He did a whole lot trying to encourage women to come into leadership. And indeed, his efforts are bearing fruit, because Susan Kiamba says, I am overjoyed because our victory for the people of Makueni and the women of this county is the victory for the people of Makueni and the women of this county. And since we started the elections in this constituency, we've never had a woman MP. There's always a first. So indeed, we have seen both the outgoing president and even the deputy president, Dr. William Ruto, and even Raila Odinga, they all have been keen about women leadership. And in Bungoma County, we have Martin Wanyonyi of Ford Kenya, who was elected as MP for Webuye East, and he is the first person living with disability to be elected in Webuye East. He is part of the Kenyans living with albinism. The Kenya Kwanza politician expressed that Kenyans need to embrace all politicians despite some being able differently. Here on the tackle, we have had our representatives and our aspiring leaders who are abled differently. We don't call them disabled, we call them abled differently. We have encouraged them to look out and seek those elected positions. And the Alego Songa member of Parliament, Samuel Atandi, he secured a second term in the Siaya County. And since the advent of multi-party elections in Siaya County, and I know we are all looking at Siaya County because it is an Azimio stronghold. There has never been an MP who has served 2 terms. They all go 1 term and then they go home. So Samuel Atandi secured a second term. Samuel Atandi has been in controversy. He had a situation where he beat up a lady, and there was a situation, and I'm sure it was resolved amicably. Now the news are going on. The presidential tally is going on. But before we go to that, UDA's Kimani Ngunjiri, Onesmus Kimani Ngunjiri, loses his parliamentary seat to Jubilee's Irene Njoki. Interesting. I think I need to take a sip of water for that. UDA's Onesmus Kimani Ngunjiri of Bahati constituency in Nakuru County lost his parliamentary seat to Jubilee's Irene Njoki. Interesting turn of events. Onesmus Kimani Ngunjiri lost his seat. So Chebukati was wondering why we, the media houses, are streaming different results. He has given us all these results. We have them. But I think Kenyans, we need to be very patient. Let us see what Chebukati was wondering. He was the IEBC chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, has assured Kenyans there is nothing to worry over the different results being streamed by TV stations. Guys, here on the tackle, Steve had to sit down and take care of the phone and the tab because it was hanging because of your thousands and thousands of messages asking what is happening. Chebukati has said that there is nothing to worry over different results being streamed at different TV stations. He was speaking at Bomas of Kenya. Chebukati explained today, Thursday, the 11th of August, 2022, that the IEBC granted media houses access to the portal to allow them to tally the results after polls closed on Tuesday, August 8th. This election of the 2022, of that happened on the 9th August 2022, is the most transparent election that the media houses were given a pass to be able to access the Form 34s, that they can be able to do their tally. Media houses chose to work independently, informing of their different results. That means if a media house has gathered results for 1,000 polling station, another one has done 10,000 because they have more staff. That's why different media houses have different results. We hope the media houses will end up with the same figure, says Chebukati. The original intention was that the media houses will have a consortium report on the progress of the election result from one source. However, media houses opted to do it independently. He, however, told the public that the final declaration of results will be done by the National Returning Officer, who is him, as required by the law. The point is the clarity, the independence, the accountability. In fact, the transparency is unequivocal. There has never been any other election in Kenya where the transparency is this unequivocal. So we want to assure the tacklers, the Azimio tacklers, the Kenya Kwanza tacklers, sit back, relax. We are going to be giving you news from the IEBC. What the agents of the different candidates, the 4 presidential candidates and the hundreds and hundreds, how many were they, Steve? 14,000. How many people were vying? It was around 16,000 for maybe around 1,800 seats, isn't it? So that's a lot of candidates. So indeed, IBC kona kibarua. So for all of them, everything that happened, our agents on the ground or their agents, our agents are the reporting agents, so they were seeing what the agents of the candidates and the parties were doing there at the polling station. Pale is of 50,000. There are 46,000 in something. We are rounding it to maybe around 47,000 polling stations. All the agents were there. We want to assure Kenyans, calm down. We have the numbers. We know what it is that is going on. We are just waiting for the final declaration of the results that will be done by the National Returning Officer as required by the law. And the National Returning Officer is Wafula Chebukati. Mwangi Wairia anasemanga Wabukati. Tuache Wabukati is Wafula Chebukati, great gentleman. He's under a lot of pressure. And he said that he hopes that the results at the media houses will be similar at the end of the day because they are coming from the same portal. Where are media houses getting their results from? From the IEBC portal. They are not getting them from elsewhere. They're getting them from the IEBC portal. What was posted on the IEBC portal? What happened on the ground at the polling station in the presence of all the agents of all the parties and all the candidates. Chebukati also said that returning officers had begun arriving at the Bomas of Kenya and uploading the Form 34s. And right now where we are at 99.84%. Essentially, we are done with uploading a huge percentage, almost all the percentage that is representing the 46,156 polling station, and the results include the areas which used manual voter register. You remember there were those areas that we talked to you about here on the tackle that were using the manual voter register, and the results include those areas that use the manual register, and they have all transmitted the Form 34As except 2 in Malava. That is what Chebukati said a while ago. I am sure we will check whether by now hizo za Malava zimekuja, but it's only true from Malava that had not come. And Chebukati also stated that we will endeavor, but when I say I'm quoting Chebukati, we shall endeavor to announce the result as soon as possible. And I want to thank Kenyans for exercising patience as you wait for the results. Here on the tackle, we ask you tacklers to exercise patience. The numbers are already in. We know the pressure is sky high. The stakes are high in this election. And I can see everybody is worried about the situation with Didimas Baraza. But let us quickly move to the Kieni Member of Parliament, Kanini Kega. conceded. I am looking for the name of the gentleman who trounced Kanini Kega, because I can see something that has been sent by an agent on the ground that Kanini Kega did concede defeat on the 11th of August 2022, that is today, Thursday. He said that he has no problem losing the Kieni parliamentary seat, but Baba the Fifth winning, that is not a declaration of the tackle. That is what Kanini Kega earlier on said, that indeed he has been member of parliament, and he acknowledged that indeed whatever the IEBC posted about his rival beating him, he acknowledged. And there are a number of parliamentary seats that have been won by the ODM party so far. The 2022 general election has proved to be a mountain to climb for many candidates, including bigwigs and greenhorns. And if the provisional results are anything to go by, before indeed we hear what Chebukati has to say, we have to say that they are sweating from the skin of their teeth, and a number of politicians have been sent home, and some have defended their seats. For example, we have Junet Mohammed. Junet Mohammed is Suna East. He has defended his seat, and Millie Thiambo, the Suba MP, has defended her seat, and the former Kisumu County Women Representative Rose Bui won the Kisumu West parliamentary seat, defending the incumbent Olaga Olwatch. Wow, Olaga Olwatch was one staunch member of the ODA, of the Movement of Democracy and Growth Party. Buyu garnered 39,615 votes to beat Olwatch, who gathered 19,045 votes. Wow, Rose Buyu, congratulations to the women in Kitutu Chache parliamentary. Anthony Kibag, are you kidding me? Steve, mbona huku diambia I need to take a drink. Anthony Kibagendi is somebody I know personally. Allow me to sip some water for Anthony Kibagendi. Congratulations, Anthony. He emerged victorious with 14,217 votes, and his closest rival, Andrew Mobi of Wiper Party, got 10,378 votes. So it was a closely contested. The difference is around 4,000 votes. And Andrew Kibagendi was in ODM, in Azimio, and it's safe. And he was at some point in Kenya Kwanza. Then I think he shifted camps, and he has emerged the winner with 14,000 votes. And in Rarieda ni kule kwa nani? Kulikuwa kwa Raphael Tuju. We all remember Rarieda. Raphael Tuju won at some point during the Kibaki times with ilikuwa Party of National. Ilikuwa chama gani ya Kibaki? Ni Tuju aliwin. Rarieda kuna kuanga na maneno. Cause tumeona Otiende Amolo, brilliant lawyer. That gentleman is one hell of a lawyer. And for us ladies, I know we love him because of his silver on his hair. Awateni kuniangalia na hiyo macho. I know we love Otiende Amolo, great lawyer. He defended his seat successfully, and we also see Titus Kamala has retained his Lurambi seat, beating ANC's Stanley Kainga. This is Kainga the Daktari. Stanley Kainga and DAPS Timothy Vikuru. Wow, it is a hot election, this one. We are still awaiting the official. Stay put. We have the other results that are streaming in, but we are looking at what has been declared officially. We know that everybody is feeling they have their results, but we only, here on the tackle, we only relay what has been declared officially for purposes of authenticity. And we can see that Kamala gathered 32,000 votes ahead of Kainga and Vikuru. And the clergyman had ditched Musalia Mudavadi's ANC last minute. Akapewa ticket by ODM, so alisimama na Azimio. So really, the things that are happening on the ground. We can see where some incumbent member of parliament called Fred Ouda, he lost his seat. Ouda was vying where? Kisumu Central Fred Ouda lost his seat. He lost to Joshua Ron, who got around 50,000 votes, and Ouda got 24,000 votes. So indeed, bigwigs are falling. And Oron alikubali matokeo na huyo mwingine akakubali kimeumana. So tunawaomba wananchi hata wao. Unaona vile leaders wetu wanakubali matokeo. Pia sisi tukubali matokeo. See, we can check out what is happening as we wait for the official report of what is happening with what everybody is looking for. We want to remind people that our guys, we have got point people at Azimio who are our friends and our partners in the media. We are an unbiased media house here on the tackle. We represent everybody, and our friends in Azimio have told us that indeed the red carpet KICC video that was circulating did not come from them. It did not happen today. It is an old footage that happened a while ago when Martha Karua was being unveiled, and we can see the things that are happening. We are looking for a Captain Gerald Bitok. He is somewhere in Bomas, and we want to see what is happening there. So when he comes on board, the tacklers, all of you, be sure you will be having reports of what is happening. But I can see in Kuresoi North, Alfred Mutai, the Chako seller, has taken lead. In Gilgil, Martha Wangari of UDA has retained his seat. We also have in Kibra, Peter Orere. I need to understand that. What is happening? Indra Rieda Otinda Amelo had reported that Kibra Peter Orero. Guys, my guys in Kibra, please tell me. Rose Buyu in Kisumu West, Rosa Buyu. My guys in Kibra, please send me a text on WhatsApp about Imran. In Kasarani, Ronald Karauri in Independent has taken the day, and I want to ask my guys in Kibra, please talk to me. In Garissa Township, Aden Duale of UDA has taken the day. In Maragua, Mary Wamawa has retained her seat. We remember she was in Azimio at some point. She went to UDA, then back to Azimio, etc. And in Bomet Central, Richard Kilel of UDA has taken the day. Remember, I am asking you to tell me what is happening. Gabriel Kagombe, my good friend, you are supposed to come to the tackle, Gabriel. Gabriel has taken the day. Atakuja tuongee na yeye. John Bure Okano of Wiper pale Taita Taveta amemwangusha Naomi Shaban. In Ugenya, David Ochieng of MDG has retained his seat. And in Narok North, Agnes Parayo. When I see a female name, naanza kuimba hallelujah pale. Kina mama oye, Agnes Parayo. Ferdinand Wanyonyi for a third term in Kwanza MP. Kwanza kulikuwa kule kwa Noah Wekesa. Sasa Wanyonyi amekaa pale, amekwama. Robert Pukose wa Endebess amekwama na kiti yake. Richard Diegon wa UDA yako wapi? Richard Diegon ni wapi? Okay, let us look at Saboti Kaleba Misi wa ODM amechukua kiti. Farah Maalim wa Dadaab, of course Farah Maalim wa Dadaab amekuja hata hapa the tackle, ameretain kiti chake pale. Kasipul, Ogondo Were of ODM has retained his seat. And in Kuresoi South, Joseph Tonui of UDA has retained his seat. We also have in Teso North, Oku Kaunya of ODM. In Teso North, ODM, Oku Kaunya of ODM. In Muhoroni, James Koyo of ODM has retained his seat. Indeed, and Musa Sirma, I can see he has made a comeback. Nambale, Geoffrey Mulanya. Hey, Geoffrey Mulanya ameshinda na Independent. In Nambale, allow me to take a sip of water. And Dr. Makali Mulu of Wiper, hiyo imenipita. Bahati Irene Njoki. Bahati tunafaa, watu wa Bahati tunafaa tuongee. Mulituambia hivi ikawa hivi. Irene Njoki of Jubilee has taken it. In Bahati, remember she was supported by Susan Kihika Bedzimba. Huko ni Kisauni anaitwa nani? Nitawaambia sasa hivi. Joseph Lemengit of UDA in Mgwen constituency. Also in Kitutu Church South, Anthony Kibagendi, salute. Unakuja tackle Kibagendi, wewe. Ulikuwa kuje tackle hata kwanza last month hukuja. Japheth Mokaya, Kitutu Church North, ameshinda na UDM. Kibagendi nitakukumbusha ukuje tackle. Joshua Kimilu pale Kaiti ni kule kulikuwa kwa Gideon, kwa naitwa Gideon, nitakumbuka nitawaambia sahi. Kibwezi East, Jessica Mbalu, Warembo. Hola, Ukambani kule Warembo. I keep telling you, Kambas love us ladies. Mboni Erastus Nzioka of Wiper amenyakua kile kiti. Mboni kulikuwa nani? Steve ataniangalia sahi. Mboni kulikuwa nani? Soi kulikuwa kule kwa sahi kumeshinda David Kiplagat wa UDA. Kulikuwa na yule jamaa ambaye alikuwa amesimama gavana Caleb Kositanyi. Embakasi East Babu Owino ameretain seat yake. Kisha tunaona kunaenda vipi. Gishugu pale kuna Robert Githinji wa UDA amenyakua kile kiti cha Gishugu. Watu wa Gishugu mumeambiwa hamkupigia kura, hamkupigia Azimio kura na running mate alikuwa anatoka kule. So Tomo Dege pia yeye ameretain seat yake, na Rockwest Gabriel Tongonyo wa UDA amechukua hicho kiti. Watu wa Gishugu mnafahamu, tuambie kumeenda vipi pale. Kapseret, I had told you about that. Oscar Sudi retained his seat. So indeed, what is happening? I can see your messages. They are blowing up my phone. In South Imenti, Shadrack Mwiti of Jubilee took the seat. Shadrack Mwiti alikuwa amesimama na chama cha Jubilee. Teso South, Mary Emase alikuwa very vibrant in politics. Ladies, I do hail you for getting into politics. Kicho Kwanza. Andrew Adipo Kume wa Karachuonyo, wa ODM amechukua kiti cha Karachuonyo. So we also have Peter Kaluma, of course, of Homa Bay Town with the ODM ticket. And the way things are going, Kajiado Central, Elijah Memusi of ODM took that seat. So indeed, what is happening is that the people who you expected would have been and those who you were not sure would be, they have become. It is an election. Kwenye siasa ni kama kabumbu. I want to remind you what Mohamed Juma Njuguna. Steve, unakumbuka Mohamed Juma? He was a veteran journalist, one of the people who mentored us those old days, 20 years ago when I was in Desa University. I was mentored by Mohamed Juma. Na alikuwa anasema siasa ni kama kabumbu. Na kwenye kabumbu chochote chaweza kutokea. So I want to encourage our viewers and the people out there and Kenyans, the 50 million of us in general, chochote chaweza kutokea. Tusishike pressure na hii maneno. It's people, ni watu tunapea kazi. Isn't it? This is the tackle. And right here, we will give you the information firsthand. Whether you're in Agano or Roots. Wale watu wa ile maneno yenye Matiang'i alisema tusiseme live on air. Whether you are in Hustler Nation or you are in Azimio, inawezekana. We want to ask you to be patient. Jane Kihara of Nakuru pia ya retain seat yake. Tulikuwa tumeongea kuhusu Junet Mohamed Wasuna Isa retain seat yake. Ninaona pale watu wangu wananitumia picha. Nimewaambia mnitumie video ndio tusambazie watu video. But tunaona tu ba shots, mapicha tu ziko pale Bomas. Tunangoja tuwaambie vile kuko. Na hapa here on the tackle we are going to tell you how it is. Relax. You're being taken care of here on the tackle with Gerald Bitok. Bitok, I am waiting for you to come on board and tell us what is happening out there. We feed our viewers information, but in the meantime, allow us to play the national anthem because we want to keep praying for our nation that we love and cherish, that it does not matter whether it is Wajakoya or Ruto or Wahiga or Raila Odinga who's going to be president. Our nation remains. And here on the tackle, we raise our glasses to whoever it is that is going to be announced by Wafula Chebukati. We do know that you believe that your person is the best. And I agree with you, your person is the best. I also say my person is the best. But at the end of the day, we are all Kenyans and whoever is going to be voted for is a Kenyan. So Take your time to take a breather, take a glass of water like me, and take it easy. And we are going to be feeding you with results up until later in the day. But before we play the national anthem, because I want to keep playing it throughout until you people relax. Mwache stress, mwache kuni hizi message mnanitumia. Ndia GK ameshika na UDA. George Karaoke ameshika pale Ndia na UDA Kisumu Central. Joshua Oron ameshika. Nimewambia mnitumie videos, mwache kunitumia hizi picha. Watu wanataka videos. Pale James Nyikal ameshika pale Seme. ODM James Nyikal at some point alikuwa CS kwa serikali ya Kibaki. Tongaren John Chika ameshika na Ford Kenya. I remember Nyikal, he was a CS in Kibaki government. Martin Wanyonyi wa Webuye East amechukua kile kiti cha member of parliament. Remember, our legislators are the lawmakers. Eldama Ravini Musa Sirma yuko pale na UDA. Tuangalie basi nani mwingine. Suba South, Karoli Omondi. Karoli, high five. Karoli Omondi is a person I know he has been in politics along. Aramat Lemaken of Narok East. We are looking at all these legislators and they are all our friends. Brighton Leonard Yagon, Pale Konoin constituency. And these are people we know they had Machakos Town, Caleb Mutiso Mule, Caleb. Chepalungu Victor Koech. I'll be telling you about Caleb Mutiso Mule in a short while. But Caleb ameangusha Victor Munyaka. Victor Munyaka alikuwa na Jubilee ama ni UDA? Ilikuwa ni, I will find out for you right now. Victor Munyaka is the incumbent. Molo Francis Kuria Kimani of UDA has taken it. And we also see that in Lurambi, Titus Kamala has taken, but I'm still hanging on to Machakos Town. Caleb Mule Mutiso has taken the day with Wiper. Kimilili Didimas Baraza. Didimas Baraza has an issue pending. We are going to be reporting about it. We are an unbiased session. We will be reporting. Fabian Chule Mole of GDDP has taken Kangundo, which was the place for huyu jamaa alikuwa anasimama governor wa Machakos, anaitwa Mudhama, ndiye alikuwa mbunge wa pale, pamechukuliwa. So in also in Sirisia, Koi John Waluke has taken Sirisia. He's the incumbent, he's taken it with Jubilee. Shakil Shabiri in Kisumu is watu wa Kisumu. Shakil Shabiri aliwapatia nini? Tutamu invite hapa tako la tuambie ni nini alipatia watu wa Kisumu wanamchagua over and over again. Kuresoi North, I had told you about Alfred Mutai, the charcoal seller who has been elected in Kuresoi North, and Martha Wangari, who has retained her seat with the UDA ticket. In the meantime, as we report and as we await, oh my goodness. Okay, this Peter Orero of ODM has taken Kibra. Hiyo maneno tunafaa tuongee. Tutaongea hiyo maneno. Imran, you're still our friend and we need to talk about that. But in the meantime, before tupande pressure, tunafaa tujue vile kunaendelea kwenye presidential election. Na tunajua wanataklas mnatuomba, na tunaona yule sonko wetu anaitwa Gerald Bitok anataka ingie online. Line yake ni gani? Nitamsikia. Gerald. Hey, Bazu, can you hear me?
Hey.
Oh, yeah, Chamge.
Salama sana, habari yake?
Hey, salama sana.
Hey,
huku vile kuko ni moto fire. Moto inaitwaje na kikale?
Inaitwa mata kabisa.
Wacha niseme na Spanish inaitwa fuego, na Kikuyu inaitwa mwaki. Kumewaka kuwaka na kuwana pale. You are still handsome. Tell me what is happening out there.
I'm handsome but tired.
You pole baba.
It's been long 3 days that we've been pushing.
Yes.
Of course, trying to get data.
Yes.
For the general public.
Uh-huh.
And as you understand, we've been doing a parallel tallying of all the forms done by IEBC, that for Form 34A.
Yes.
That has been pushed by IEBC, and we're trying to tabulate the figures.
Yes.
For your consumption. And so far, I think the contest has been shaped very clearly. IEBC is remaining with only around less than 100 polling stations before it closes up the submission of 34A. And they should be moving to 34B, which will come in hard copies to the tallying center at Bomas. But I think the contest has already been shaped in the way the numbers are coming in. And if I was just to show you how things are looking like at this point, the presidential vote, we have already they've already submitted almost 46,160.
46,100.
160, 162 thereabouts. Out of 46,229 polling stations. So it tells me that we are pretty good, almost done. And the figures are standing for percentages is 50.5% for William Ruto, and for Raila Odinga is standing at 48.8%.
And that is according to our independent telling us the tackle. We are not biased. We are not leaning on any side, but we have 50.5% and 48.7%.
48.8% for Raila Odinga.
48.8.
50.5% for William Ruto, yes.
Okay.
What
is remaining?
The number of votes there in total for William Ruto is 7.160.
7.16 million for the yellow UDA William Ruto.
We have 6.92 million for Raila Odinga.
6.9 million for the blue Raila Amolo Odinga with the Azimio.
Yes. And as I had predicted earlier, I think I'd say that the way I'm looking at this election, if everything remains constant as it is, I can tell you this is purely an issue of data. There's nothing much that's going to change from this point. The way the numbers are looking like, there's nothing much that is bound to change because the only polling stations that are remaining are less than 100. There's only much those polling stations can do to really destabilize the numbers as they are. So I had predicted in the morning that if the data remains as it is, then we'll see a William Ruto win between from 50.6 to 50.8%.
Just hold it right there. You want to tell our viewers on the tackle that we are expressly stating this as data from the IEBC. We are not the tallying body. We are using data from the IEBC that you are declaring here on the tackle that we have 50.4% so far from William Ruto and 48.8%. 50.5 for William Ruto, Dr. William Ruto, and 48.8% for Raila Amolo Odinga, with 100 polling stations remaining. So where we are at, we can be able to tell our viewers to keep it here so that when those 100 stations come, you'll still tell us, isn't it?
Yes. But the thing is, nothing is bound to change. There's nothing that's really going to change as it is right now. With the remaining polling stations, the chances of destabilizing the numbers are almost nil. It's almost nil. And I think the results as it is right now, of course, I've also compared. I've tried to also have a convention within IEBC just to verify that we are actually having the right numbers in terms of the 34As that have been submitted. And I can tell you the numbers are not going to change much. So if anyone is watching us this evening, I mean, those are the numbers they need to look at. And I had a prediction in the morning because I can tell you this is pure science. When it comes to numbers, it's science. You cannot make it up. You can't make up these stories. It's not a narrative.
It is true.
If things go as they are, with the polling stations that are coming in, nothing is really bound to change. So you could be looking at a William Ruto win of 50, at a maximum of 50.6%. And Raila Odinga at a maximum of 48.9%.
So we want to tell our viewers that indeed they can keep it here. We are going to give them that difference, even if it is 0.0000%, because we have had our people from Azimio, and we have, I know you are in contact with our people from Azimio who are doing their own tallying, our people from Kenya Kwanza, our people from Agano, our people from Roots Party. They are all our people. We do love them and we embrace them here on the tackle. But do you want to tell us that indeed, after consulting with the IEBC and with the party representative, that those are the numbers that we are running? Can we be able to tell them that indeed they should not be worried? Those are the numbers.
Yes, I can. If you ask me, because I've been sitting on these numbers for the last 3 days, and I've been sitting on those forms, I want to repeat again But the source of this data is IEBC data, Form 34As that have been submitted, and anybody can actually do this. A lot of Kenyans are just lazy. But if Kenyans want to tally this, you just need to go to the IEBC website, look at the uploaded forms, download them, and you do your own tallying. That's what we've been doing. So the same thing that IEBC will be doing is the same thing that we've been doing. And that is it. I want first of all to clarify the source code for these tabulations. They are purely IEBC data, and they are coming from the Form 34As that have been submitted. And that stands right now. I want to repeat again. The polling stations that have been submitted are 46,160.
46,160.
229.
Out of
so we have pending polling stations of less than 100. If you look at it that way. So and the total numbers for William Ruto is 7.16, Raila Odinga is 6.92, percentages 50.5% and 48.8% respectively. So I want to say this, that nothing much is going to change as we move on towards the tallying that's going to come up as IBC and back on Form 34B. There's nothing much that is going to change. But the polling stations that are coming in, they are not likely to stabilize these numbers. If you also look at the TV stations, although they are a bit behind, TV stations are very behind. Looking at TVs, they're still talking about 1 million. Is it? 6 million.
6 million. They are all local, 6 million.
The TV station that's hired is talking about 6 million, which I think it should be NTV. But right now, tallying has crossed over 7-point-something million. It was over 7.1.
But Gerald, allow me to ask this question on behalf of people who are asking, the thousands and thousands of people who are asking us this question. Why is it that we as media houses are behind, yet we all have the same data? Why are we operating on different parameters and we are making the people a little bit nervous? Can you please explain to us from where you are at na vile umezunguka Kenya mzima? Please tell us and let the tacklers understand why there is a difference up to this hour where we are almost on the evening of the 11th after the election ended on the 9th. Please tell us why there is a difference between different media houses.
The reason is because the forms are being uploaded randomly. So different media houses are picking up in random. There are media houses which are picking up maybe from, let's say, a region. Let's look at maybe William Ruto stronghold. Someone is beginning to count from central Kenya. So you find that the numbers will be different. Maybe someone else again starts counting from Nyanza. The numbers could look different. And I think that is why people who are coming from there. You know, this election is about where you want to watch. If you want to see Raila winning, you go to Citizen. You see Raila is ahead. If you want to see maybe William Ruto ahead, you go to either NTV, you go to KTN. It has been KTN all along. And it's not like they're giving us the wrong information, but they are counting from the different regions. So if you're counting from Nyanza region, of course, you'll have Raila winning, leading as well. And the problem with the media houses is they have already picked sides as well. They want to paint a certain narrative. So you find that these are things that are flip-flopping. Another media house wants to paint another candidate as leading, another one wants to paint the other one. But the data is the same. And IEBC is uploading single documents on Form 34As. So there's nothing that can change. Even if you delay, you'll still get regions and the numbers will still destabilize. A lot of people have asked why Citizen at some point William Ruto was leading. It's because now they've moved to other regions where maybe William Ruto is picking up more votes.
They're strongholds.
So that's what is happening actually. It's not that we are getting the wrong data, but different media houses are trying to paint a different narrative by beginning from different regions, which is totally understood. But as we are going to wind up towards the end of this day and also tomorrow, you'll find that we'll have an almost equal plate in terms of the numbers that are coming in from the media houses. So fingers crossed as the final submission of Form 34As comes in into IEBC and also the media houses pick them up, you realize the numbers will stabilize across the media houses. I've also seen Baba's gone through all media. I don't know what is happening there. I'm also trying to
we are following up on that. Yeah? We are waiting to see what is happening there. But
that's how the tallying is right now. And actually, Kenya Kwanza are planning to have a press conference shortly. And the press conference is about two things. One is that they want the results that have already been, the candidates who have already won to be announced by IEBC. Or to also to announce their own candidates. They feel like won governors, talk about MPs, talk about senators and all that. And they also want to put, because they are saying we are done with our own tallying, then why is IEBC still stuck?
No, but indeed, even the media houses.
Those are the things that are going to come up.
But Gerald, the media houses have been announcing, the IEBC, what they've been announcing on about the governor, about the MPs, they have been sending to us, and we have been announcing. We hope they will not again say we have been sending the wrong messages, because what we are broadcasting here on the tackle is what the IEBC has declared as a winner, especially when it comes to MPs. We've been talking about MPs, and also I do want to appreciate that you're going round and that you have appreciated that every side of the political divide is following up on their candidates. So we want to assure tacklers that there is no way here on the tackle that your candidate is going to be given atashushwa hadhi. No. Your candidate is being taken care of by Gerald Bitok. Mnakumbuka mlisema Gerald ni wa Azimio? Hapana, si wa Azimio. He's taking care of both Azimio and both Kenya Kwanza and Roots Party and the Gano Party. And thank you, Gerald. I know you haven't slept, you haven't eaten, and I'm thinking even Mama Watoto is wondering bwana yake alienda wapi. And thank you.
Kwanza nafaa kumbeka kitu ya kufanya kazi sana.
Steven ndiye ameshika Steve ndiye ameshika simu ya M-Pesa, atatuma kakitu ka 200 hivi utakula ile boilo. Thank you so much. I know walisema hata hii election imemaliza nguvu ya kiume, so we pray that itarudi after some time, and we do appreciate, we thank you Gerald, thank you for going down to the roots, because the people have been wondering whether tutaka studio tu tumerega. Wameona that Gerald Bitok has gone to the ground. So thank you so much, sir, and we want you to check for us yo nini ya Azimio, yo press conference ya Azimio na hiyo ingine ya Kenya Kwanza, utuangalilie tafadhali, utatutumia
also there's a new development as well.
Yes.
As I speak, I'm just around here, I'm around Bomas, and there's a meeting that is going on. Between Ndiritu Mureti of Azimio, also the executive director of Azimio, that is Rafael Tuju. They're in a closed door meeting in Bomas of Kenya. I don't know what they are meeting about, because media has not been allowed to cover it or to go in. So we'll be waiting to see what is going to come out. And also, I think IEBC has called in representatives from different political sides to go and have a conversation. So far, I think Kenya Kwanza have not gone. But maybe they should be heading there. I'm not sure. So the immediate meeting that's happening right now between I saw Rafael Tuju came in, Ndiritu Mureti came in, and they have gone into a closed door meeting at Bomas of Kenya. I don't know what it's all about, but I hope when they come out they'll be able to tell us what the whole thing is all about. And we also have IEBC in the evening. Thereabouts will be able to give us a statement on the state of the vote, and especially the submission of Form 34As. Umesikia kuna watu wengine wamepoteza Form 34As, there be some recounts.
Hiyo maneno kwanza ilinipandisha pressure. Hebu niambie kidogo pale vile Form 34A itapotea. Unakumbuka nilikuuliza ni kama mama ambaye anaenda si mama, dada ambaye anaenda kuolewa kisha anapoteza nguo ya ndani. Ukiwa wewe unapoteza Form 34A, whether uko saidi ya Azimio ama ya Roots ama ya UDA ama ya Kenya Kwanza, you cannot lose the Form 34A. You remember I asked you in the morning, you cannot lose the Form 34A. That is the inner cloth for the virgin who is going to get married. Form 34A ndio maisha yetu kama wa Kenya across the political divide. Tell us, give us, before we release you, I know uko na njana umechoka sana, tafadhali allow me to ask you to tell us, make a comment about the loss of a Form 34A and the worry that the people from the Azimio side, kwanza kwa sababu ilikuwa upande wa Kibra na huko ni Azimio stronghold. Watu wa Kibra wametutumia message milioni hapa, wanatuuliza form yetu 34A ilipotea, kumeenda vipi? Tacklers tuambieni kuko vipi. So tafadhali Gerald, please tell us what is happening. Tell us what your take is on that, the loss of that form.
So first of all, you must understand what Form 34A is. Form 34A is the results at the polling station. That is what the results that are picked at the polling station. What is declared at the polling station is what we have on the Form 34A. And remember, IEBC said that the final results is at the polling station. So it means that Form 34A is the most powerful document that we need in this election. That's why IEBC have been keen to really push them up as early as possible. And you must commend the IEBC as well for doing the right thing. They ensure that they are not going to deal with anything. Just upload the Form 34As on the cloud and everybody can access it. So
Sisi
there is no
tunaachwa tuking'ang'ana
speculations, no
nayo.
stories of war, what could be going on. So Azimio, they can access the forms and do their own tallying. Kenya Kwanza can access the forms and do their own tallying. So you might give it to IEBC for that. And also IEBC as also, if you see right now, if it was in 2017, you could be having a lot of chaos because people will be fighting about what IEBC is broadcasting in terms of the analysis that are getting in and the tallying that are coming in. So this time IEBC, they said, you don't want to do your own tallying results, you're giving the documents, that's your problem. So right now, you see people are trying to fight, but they don't have the numbers because most of the parties decided to ignore that. They never set up their tallying centers. So you find that people want to argue, but they don't have alternative numbers. So Form 34 is uploaded on the system. After you've declared your results, you take a picture and send it on the portal. So that's what goes directly to the cloud. That's what we're using to extract it. Then we remain with a physical copy that is supposed to come all the way now to the Bomas of Kenya, to the constituency tallying center. Not the constituency tallying center. So what does it mean when a Form 34A it gets lost? First of all, we have a backup of the picture that has been taken, and the agents as well would have taken a picture. The problem is if you don't have sufficient agents, then there could be some level of mischief in changing the results.
Just hold it right there. All the agents of all the political parties, of all the candidates have taken a picture. So hata ikipotea kuko na image.
Alafu unaweka pia kwa cloud, una upload inaenda IEBC. Inapanda juu. But now again, you need to have that physical Form 34A to go to the constituency level, so that now that can also be used to collect the Form 34B that comes to Nairobi. So what does it mean? First of all, the safety measures that have been put in terms of every other person having a copy of it, a carbon copy and all that, is safe enough. If you have agents, then it means your numbers are safe. Now, in a situation where it is lost completely, then what happened is what you saw happening. A recount. A recount is done, witnessed by all the agents, and then the RO confirms that this is what has been there, and the agent signed again and said that these are the numbers that we've gotten at this polling station. Then it goes to back up the 34A that has already been uploaded on the system, and that the agents have as well.
Hold it right a bit.
Now, that is not a problem.
It is the agents for all the parties, all the candidates, all the agents who are responsible at that point from. If one Form 34 gets lost, all the agents of all the 4 parties for the presidential or the several parties for the MCA or the MP or the senator governor, lazima wakue pale recount ikiwa. Are you telling us that on the tackle?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I guess that makes people a bit relaxed that in case Form 34 ipotee, agents wao watakuwa pale in case kuna recount, but we do hope that we do not have those mishaps. Now that you've told us that 99.8% of the Form 34s zimeingia, tunashukuru sana, and we do wish you well, na tunakutumia ka something ya lunch, usianguke tafadhali.
Kwanza nimeona MC Kali hapa online, chairman wamenakwisha kettle dip. Najua amejirit tena hii mwaka. I'm sure he has rigged himself in. Amwambia tafadhali atume kakitu lazima kasambazike ndio ground ikuwe warm, kwa sababu hata ukiingia ground lazima ujue kunaenda vipi. Otherwise we do appreciate, so please keep us in touch. Tunakaa hapa mpaka saa zile tutajua vile kumeenda when it comes to the presidential tally, because most of the others we are waiting for you to tell us what is happening on the Azimio side and on the Kenya Kwanza side, and we do appreciate you and thank you for keeping it grounded when it comes to both sides of the electoral divide. Thank you, Gerald. Absolutely awesome. That was Gerald Bito. My friends, that guy is almost collapsing. Unajua ingekuwa mimi ningeanza kusema watoto ABCD. Unajua sisi kina mama tukichoka tunaanza kusema kuna mtoi ambaye angasijui anafanya nini. Na sasa kuna mtu anamwangalia. So the good thing with having men out there, I you excuse that I'm breastfeeding. So that is Gerald Bito, our captain here. He is the one who runs this show essentially from the detail, and here in the studio I am here with Steve, and he is running the numbers and running the details. And for our guys from both sides of the political divide, our Azimio guys, we salute you for tolerating us and for sending us your info. Our Kenya Kwanza guys, thank you guys for telling us what is happening on the ground. Our Agano guys and our Roots Party guys, we have people from across the political divide, and here on the tackle, you can rest assured there is no state capture, there is no bipartisanship. We
are Kenyan to that depth that ukisikia wewe ni mwananchi wa pale chini uko pamoja na tackle. Ukisikia wewe ni source bado kwa tackle wewe ni wetu. So we do appreciate you, and we want again, Steve, what are we going to play? The national anthem. I think I can play. You know what? As a Kenyan, I remember growing up. Me niligrow up zile siku za Moi. We would to sit down, and every time you feel like you're confused about your patriotism, you just play the national anthem, and it makes you remember that you are a Kenyan. And before anything else, before all those other divides come, and before all those tribes and situations and parties and etc. come, first, you are Kenyan. And whoever is going to be elected, hata Wajakoya na zile testicles mbili. I know I'm not supposed to say some of these things live on air because I have small children and they are watching. But hata kama ni Wajakoya na hizo nini, national anthem ni the same for all of us. So watu wangu wa Azimio, I love you guys. Thank you for talking to me. Watu wangu wa Kenya Kwanza, I thank you for talking to me. Watu wangu wa Roots na wa Agano, thank you for being with us in this broadcast, and we are taking care of you. Kila kitu yenye ina happen pale IEBC, tunapata messages live and direct. Joe Arama, I know you're watching, nimekuona uko online. Utatuambia ni nini ina happen pale Diaspora, Diaspora across the country. Kwanza watu wa Australia walivote mbele ya sisi 4 days ago. Tutaongea na wewe baadaye. But in the meantime, turuhusu to take a simple break, tukunywe kamaji hivi kisha tucheze wimbo wa taifa, na tunawaomba wa Kenya stay put, mambo yako shwari kabisa. You are live on the tackle with me and Steve right here, and with Gerald out there. Au jamaa amekula vumbi for you, because here on the tackle we are bold, we are credible, and we keep you informed. All right, we are on the tackle. Steve, the national.
Tayari kuilinda
Dear Kenya, 5 years are gone. Dear Kenya, 5 years are gone. We are here again. We are here to build a resolute Kenya. We are here to build a peaceful Kenya. We are here to build a better Kenya. It is your right and responsibility to participate in a peaceful, free, fair and credible election. It is your civic right, your religious duty and your social responsibility. My dear Kenya, on 9th August and after the election day, I urge you to pursue peace and prosperity of our beloved country through word and deed. Listen to this. Accept the election results that are announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, appreciating that only the IEBC has the authority to announce election results. Encourage anyone who is dissatisfied with the election results to seek redress in courts of law as provided for in the Constitution of Kenya, and refuse to participate in mass action or demonstrations regardless of provocation or incitement before, during or after the elections. May this be an election with a difference. Do your part, Kenya. Pray for peace, and as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone as recorded in Romans 12 verse 18. Always remember, mimi ni Mkenya, wewe ni Mkenya, sisi ni wa Kenya. God bless Kenya. Yours sincerely, Kenya. Dear Kenya, 5 years are gone. We are here again. We are here to build a resolute Kenya. We are here to build a peaceful Kenya. We are here to build a better Kenya. It is your right and responsibility to participate in a peaceful, free, fair and credible election. It is your civic right, your religious duty and your social responsibility. My dear Kenya, on 9th August and after the election day, I urge you to pursue peace and prosperity of our beloved country through word and deed. Listen to this. Accept the election results that are announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, appreciating that only the IEBC has the authority to announce election results. Encourage anyone who is dissatisfied with the election results to seek redress in courts of law as provided for in the Constitution of Kenya, and refuse to participate in mass action or demonstrations regardless of provocation or incitement before, during or after the elections. May this be an election with a difference. Do your part, Kenya. Pray for peace, and as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone as recorded in Romans 12 verse 18. Always remember, mimi ni Mkenya, wewe ni Mkenya, sisi ni wa Kenya.
Diaspora, we can see you coming in fast and furious, and we want to see who is online. Kindly, please allow me to ask you in a very, very, very humble way your name and which country you're calling from, and state, if it permits me to, who is online. I can see callers online. I cannot see your name. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Can you see me?
No, I can't see you.
But you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, I can't see you either, but I am glad you are on board. Where are you calling us from? This is the Tackle Live with Gerald Bitok. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Greenwood, Indiana.
Greenwood, Indiana, in the United States of America. Tacklers, we have got a Kenyan from Greenwood, Indiana. We know about Indiana. Michael Jackson came from Gary, Indiana. So tell us what is happening with the Kenyans in Indiana and what your take is on what the unfoldings of our politics are.
First of all, I just want to say that I'm very, very happy that the elections are going peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And my prayer is for everything to end well.
Hold on. Steve is reminding me I have not asked you. You know, we are told never to ask people their names. It might be very rude. We are supposed to be knowing names. So please just let the tacklers know who we are.
Oh.
Gina. Sisi wa Africa.
I'm sorry. I'm usually a regular here.
Yes,
so
you are.
It's just the regular drill. But
Yeah.
My name is Doro or Dorothy Ogega.
Dorothy Ogega. Karibu sana, sweetheart.
Asante.
All right, tacklers, we have Dorothy Ogega from Indiana in the United States of America. So proceed, Dorothy.
So my joy here is that things are going peacefully and people are very patient. And I hope the process is going to end sooner before people lose their patience, because there's a lot of factors. Children are expected to go back to school.
Yeah.
People are supposed to get back to normal lives.
Yeah.
So the process needs to end sooner.
All right, I do agree with you, Dorothy, because for the sake of our children and for the sake of the Kenyans' lives going back to normal, we need this process over and done with. But sometimes when we are seeking democracy, maybe a little bit of patience of the Kenyans home and abroad is required. So we were hoping that we would have had this over and done. You do remember that I know you're in diaspora, but you are in touch with our bases, so you know that our MOE, our Minister of Education, CS, Professor George Magoha had said the children were supposed to go back to school today, but they are going back next week on Monday. I know that everybody's worried, and I know even in diaspora you're worried.
Of course. You know, first of all, that's to me, that's a very, very big unrest, you know, for children's schedules in school. So my big question here is, what was the plan before? If they knew we were going to go through this process, what informed them to decide that the kids were going back to school today in the first place? Or was the process not communicated very well?
Well, I will agree with you there. As media practitioners, we are normally sitting by and waiting for communication from government agencies to tell us what it is that is going on. So indeed, our point person at the Ministry of Education and also the other one at the Ministry of Interior has not really told us what is happening, but we know and we feel assured that we will get the communication. But we do accept that the changing of the dates is worrying for parents. And I know even in diaspora, you're worried that what is going to happen to our children. But we do appreciate you people that you're following, even when you're far out there. So tell me, what is the feeling there? What is happening? How are the people? You people voted. We saw you. Some people in Australia voted before we woke up. But in Washington, you voted around more or less the same time with the rest of us. So tell me, how is the feeling across the U.S., especially the people who voted at our Kenyan embassy in Washington?
Let me tell you, any Kenyan right now in the face of the earth, they are going through some anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we are not in Kenya and we're here, let me tell you, the feeling is the same. The feeling, you know, just the fact that we don't know, especially the presidential election, how it's going to end. There's just a feeling of anxiety, and we just want it to be over with so we can just move on. So tumbo inasonga, you know?
Some bit of anxiety.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to tell you, from the tackle to the diaspora, and we know that you are our people and you keep us in touch with the rest of the world here on the tackle. We want to assure you that things are being taken care of. Whatever side of the political divide it is going to go to, we will be reporting it live right here on the tackle. And we just pray for tolerance and peace and calmness, because a contest such as an election, of course, is bound to raise a bit of emotions. We have lost our caller. We are hoping we are going to get her back. But indeed, we want to ask our people in diaspora that all of us are tense. I am a little bit tense. The fact that I am on a job does not make it less tense for me. It's only that I have got to keep up appearances for the sake of life going on. Ni kama saa zile wa mama unakutanga baba hajakuja na watoto wanauliza mam dadi yako wapi and uko ako sawa. You have no idea where that man is. Ladies, you do. You understand.
Yeah.
Are you there, sweetheart?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
still on.
So indeed, when you are mingling with fellow Kenyans, just tell them that here on the tackle, we are in touch with all bases: the government, the IEBC, the Azimio side, the Kenya Kwanza side, the Roots and the Agano side. So we are monitoring keenly what is happening, and we will be reporting it right here on the tackle. So we do pray for people to be just a little bit patient, because in a contest sometimes things take a little bit longer than all of us anticipate. But in the meantime, tell us, when it came to voting, how was it for you people who had to, I'm thinking of people who were transiting from Florida to go and vote in Washington, others from the other Washington, what are the DC one? The other Washington, to go and vote in DC. Tell me.
Of course, it's an expensive exercise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you look at the logistics, where Washington is, where LA is, where the other Washington is, they're far from everywhere.
There are some people in probably Alaska also, and maybe Hawaii.
I mean, look at me. I live in Indiana. Indiana is in the Midwest.
Yes.
So going to DC, or me going to LA, or me going to Washington, it's far either way, because I mean, right in the center there.
Absolutely.
So, it's expensive, and then if you're going to somewhere like Washington DC, accommodation is expensive. So it comes at a cost.
How long does it take? Is it a day or 2 or 3 or, well, tell us. Like, if you are moving from Indiana to go to Washington to cast your vote at the embassy in Washington, D.C., which is just, is it right next to Maryland? D.C. was hived off of Maryland, isn't it?
Yes. From Indiana, it would be 12 hours drive if I'm driving, or a flight could be between 2 hours to 4 hours, depending on your connections.
Yes. That is a 12-hour flight, not drive.
No, the drive. The flight is the drive is 12 hours.
The flight?
The flight is between 2 to 4 hours, depending on what connections you're taking.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a hassle.
Yes.
Okay. Don't get offline. I want to send a message to Mercy. Mercy, please unmute yourself. I will be connecting you very, very, very soon as I talk to this beautiful lady from Indiana. I will be connecting you soon. So let me go back to our caller from Indiana. So indeed, it's a 2-hour drive from Indiana, and Kenyans did that. People did that for their civic duty. So we do appreciate you, the people in diaspora. We saw your vote came in hot and fast and furious very early. But what is the feel? I know you have associations across the United States, especially the US. I know there are associations, US, Canada, UK, Australia, etc. What is the take generally? Besides everybody calling for peace, what would you want the incoming government to do for people locally and also for the people abroad? Tell us, sweetheart.
I'm going to be very short and clear on this. Whoever the next government is going to be, they need to look out for the people. I mean, with empty promises, figure out ways to improve our country. Because Kenya, as it is, we're supposed to be one of the most progressive countries in Africa.
Yeah.
Other African countries look at us.
Uh-huh.
So we really, really need to live to that expectation.
Uh-huh.
And our leaders are the only people that can steer us to that direction. When we have leaders that mean and all they think is about is themselves and or each other and fight each other through the terms that they have, then that takes from the country because we're just left out there. It's like having children and then just let them mother themselves.
Yeah.
You know. And then you wake up one day, you're like, oops, I've not been looking at my kids. Let me try to take care of them last minute. And then at that time, you won't do a good job. So our leaders are needed to be selfless. Think about the people that put you in power.
Yeah.
And do the right thing.
Absolutely awesome. We do appreciate you, the Kenyans in diaspora. This financial year, Steve, we saw the billions and billions. I am not going to give them in figures because they keep elevating every second that the Kenyans in diaspora did send back home in Kenya. So when the Kenyans in diaspora call out to the incoming government to be recognizant of what is happening, Mwasi, I have you online. And like I am saying that, just one moment. Whoever is online, just hold it one moment. Let me see what is happening. Technology lazima tukae tukiongeleshana. Are online and you are live, Mercy. I do appreciate you. And I want to talk to Kenyans and tell them that the Kenyans in diaspora are concerned what is happening here at home. Mercy, can you hear me? Do you acknowledge that you're live on air on The Tackle?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Absolutely. It is The Tackle live, home and abroad, here in Nairobi on election season in Kenya. Tell us, Mercy, where you are calling us from in diaspora.
Well, I live in Massachusetts, Boston area.
Boston, Massachusetts in the United States of America.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. We do thank you. We hope you drove or flew to Washington to cast your vote.
Actually, I didn't because I was renewing my passport at the time they were doing the registration. I hope they improve on that asset because I guess, you send it there and then you do the application, then they send it all the way home and then back. So within that period, I couldn't register. But I have some friends of mine who drove all the way.
I do apologize for that mishap, but indeed, I did see a few complaints here and there about our Kenyan embassy in DC, and a lot of people were complaining that there were a few, mishaps here and there, and people were not able to do what they wanted to do. And what it is that you can tell us about that, our Kenyan embassy in DC?
I think, hopefully with the new administration that's coming in, they're going to improve, their services, their consular services, especially in terms of dealing, helping Kenyans here. I hope they open more consular offices. I know it's going to be an expenditure, but, strategically, they need to, at least somewhere like Texas needs one. Us here, we are close to New York, so that's okay. Probably something maybe out west. I know in California they have it, and maybe either Washington State or something like that. They need to have, at least a consular office. But in terms of, application like passports and everything, they still make some of the issues are so hard to be able to. I don't know why we like to do this, to create all these hoops that you have to jump over. Why don't they have like a passport, either printing or whatever thing here in Kenya and everything, even in Washington, D.C. that, you just fill out your forms, maybe you do your biometrics and then, send it home and get it printed printed right away or something like that. And then, or it can be sent back here. But I don't know why we always try to, it's still a hassle because people have to drive there.
I have seen a whole lot of people send us messages here on The Tackle. The beauty of being in The Tackle is that you are dealing with journalists that are non-bipartisan, that we can be able to be about some of these issues, because we know the kind of revenue that the Kenyans in the United States of America send back home and how they are supporting the families back here. We also know that indeed even the government does benefit from the revenue that is generated from the Kenyans in the US. So you people in diaspora, we have you at heart. That is why we have a diaspora show every day here on The Tackle on Thursdays. And I know that is why you're here. So indeed, your concerns have been booked, and we want to keep pushing whichever government whether it's Azimio or Kenya Kwanza government. We need to look out for our people in diaspora. What do you think? Yes, I hear you have something to say. Whichever government is, whether it's Azimio or Kenya Kwanza.
Hello?
Yeah. I can hear you. Proceed. I know you have something.
Yeah. One thing, like with the jobs you do, in the financial sector and,
yes,
it's stuff like biometrics. I don't know why someone has not advised the consular embassy. You don't need to travel all the way to Washington, D.C. to be able to do biometrics.
Yeah.
There's a way you can do it here in the U.S. There are some kiosks. In all these states, they have kiosks that are independent and, they can be able to, kind of like to lease. There's a way you can lease and get their services. So if Kenyans can go maybe to DC or can go to Boston or their nearest town, and all these kiosks, sometimes they're like companies, like a major one, and then they have these kiosks where they do biometric services. So any person can go to the nearest town to them, as long as that whatever kiosk or whatever company has a contract with the Kenyan embassy, you get your biometrics there, and then it's sent digitally to DC. So that thing of traveling all the way, a couple thousand miles, spending $1,000 just to get your fingerprints done, and drive all the way back.
No, it's a lot of hundreds of thousands of dollars, because I have had people who have told me they have spent $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 going all the way to Washington to just do their biometrics. Then they come back, then they have to go back, then they come back. So indeed, I do agree with you that we need to have our local office partner with local kiosks. And can you tell me something? Is it something you can be able to send us here on The Tackle that we can be able to push with the government so that it makes it easier? Because the US is, well, if you look at from New York to California, it's a whole lot of state we have there. So indeed, the Kenyans there are hundreds of thousands of Kenyans there. So we do appreciate you people, because you keep our families running right here, and we do feel your concerns here on The Tackle. But tell me something, I saw people wake up very early to go to the consulate to vote, and you tell me you were unable to vote, and you tell me you would want the consulate to create situations where people can be able to vote in point states. I know it cannot be in every state in the US.
It's still going to be, it's still huge. We'll just have to figure out a way, but I mean, they need to increase the consular, or at least, create temporary offices. You know what I mean? And I think they can do it.
I know.
You can create and rent an office space like Massachusetts, Texas. Where Kenyans are. Atlanta, there's Kenyans. California, you go to Arizona, there's, where there's at least a substantial number. Minnesota, you create one, and then all these people can vote locally, and then it's just sent. I
do agree with you. Even if we were just to look at the map of the U.S., we look at the Washington, the states right across to California, to New York, to Florida, and to probably Missouri and Massachusetts and Michigan, where there are a lot of Kenyans. We can be able to create hubs of Kenyans where we can be able to do some of these things. Such a democratic right, such as voting, should not only be in Washington. So our point people in whichever government, because here on The Tackle, we are working with either side of the political divide, whether the Azimio side, whether the Kenya Kwanza side, even the Agano guys, or a Roots Party, whichever government comes in place. There is somebody who is online right now. So my people of the tackle. I want you to look at that the government comes in, that our people in the United States of America, the whole, how many square kilometers is the US?
I don't even know.
It's a whole lot. It's like half of Africa.
One thing, if I might add, in all these places, you go to Iowa, you go Missouri, you go Kansas, you go Arizona, you go Texas, you go. There are Kenyan organizations that we ourselves can be able to organize. So even the registration can be done, and then after the voting day, you know, someone just the laptop, whatever, you come with your passport, you're registered, you vote, and you go home.
Now,
that's it.
The only thing I want to ask you is that all those organizations, let them book into the tackle so that when I am out there, even when Gerald Bitok is here in studio, I and Steve, our tech guy, the guy who's in charge of all the technicality here, from here to Kingdom Come, I'm not very tech. There's a guy who's besides there. We can be able to push some of these things so that people in diaspora stop struggling to make a basic communication about voting or about their welfare out there. And the Kenyan embassy is there. And indeed, we do have a consulate. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I agree. And I think also one of the deficits about and I think it's all over the world in terms of representation for Kenyans. I think they should try and make sure that the people who are appointed at the embassy, at least is someone who has lived in that particular locality or something, because it makes it easier for the person to understand what really ails the people. That's besides the voting. There's other issues in terms of even investments that Kenyans, we find Kenyans now trying to avoid the issue of, you know, a person has tried to do their own private investment only to realize, oh, it's been pawned and everything else. You know, there was a time, you know, and this thing, President Uhuru came and talked about it here in Massachusetts, remember?
I do remember.
Well, you can... Yes, you can come in and you go through the embassy and you can get your title deeds, and because it's something that it's a project or land that has been verified, and then we never really had much, you know, it was just like a rhetoric, and then after that so that's one of the things that Kenyans are kind of frustrated, but in time, because the way you said in terms of the money that people send, you know, one thing that
billions,
it's kind of a good thing, but it kind of disappoints me that it's the highest income earner. Foreign income earner for Kenya.
It is.
If all Kenyans stop right now, today they say they're going to boycott for 2 months, I don't know how much the dollar is going to go against the shilling.
The good thing is that we know, the people in diaspora know that they're taking care of their families, so they won't boycott.
Exactly.
But I agree with you.
No, they're not.
There
I'm not
was
saying
a
that,
boycott.
I'm just saying,
I agree.
this particular...
I agree.
So that I'm saying our group, whatever that's outside, I mean, they need to be treated as such because we play as such a big, that's my point, such a big role in the economy. You know, the money that's coming in, it's, you know, it's helping the people back home. It's also helping the government, you know, go, I mean, in so many ways. So
I even saw the central bank post just how much came in from diaspora, and we salute you. That is why we have an entire Thursday here on the tackle dedicated to the diaspora, because of the commitment that you people have to our economy here back at home, and to the peoples, and to the 50 million of Kenyans, and the impact you have. We do not take it for granted. I want to tell you this passionately, from an individual perspective and even from the perspective of the tackle. We do not take you for granted. We appreciate you. We salute you for taking care of our grandmothers back in the village, who probably without you, they would be without providence. And indeed, we do appreciate what the Kenyans in diaspora are doing for this nation, and we do plead and we do pledge that we will push that the next government does something for the Kenyans in diaspora. Now, tell me as you sign out what it is that you have to say about the current election.
Well, I mean, we are all on pins and needles. I'm sure all of you guys are. We can't sleep. Even at night, you check, you sleep, you know, you fall. Nope. It's such a funny, I think everybody's like, we don't know, what do you think? And so, and I think that's a good thing. And I was even talking to someone a few minutes ago. Even people from other countries are surprised, especially African countries. First of all, they're like, I didn't realize we are watched, but we are so advanced in terms of the way we are doing it now that other people are watching and be like, wow. And then I like the fact that, for us, we are always obsessed with the elections. Like, even Americans are not even that way, but Kenyans, we're just... So it's a good thing that we are trying to, and I think it's a process. So in time,
let me cut you short a little before you wind up. Ongelesha Doro, I am on you. I am looking at you. You're coming in next. And indeed, I do agree with my caller that my guy Steve Stephen Bitok. I was allowed to sleep. I threw the gender card and I was like, I'm a woman. I have family. So they allowed me to sleep for 3 hours. So these guys have not slept. So I agree with you. People have not slept. So as you wind... Oh, no, I did throw the gender card. So no, as women do that. I'm bragging. So indeed, I wanted to tell that caller that we are coming to him. But I agree with you that indeed people have not slept for the last 2-3 days. And indeed, we do hope the government that comes in will take care of the people in diaspora. So as you sign out, tell us something. Yes.
I think just to wrap up, I think we are making progress. There's more accountability. Some people have won, some people have lost that they didn't expect to lose, which I think is all part of the process. And I think the way it's been done now, I think I'm over impressed. If you asked me before the day of the election, I would be like, you never know. But now I think everybody's looking at it. And now because we have access to the numbers, people are even overwhelmed by the numbers. Yeah, I think it's a good thing, and I'm so happy that things are being done this way. I mean, there are things we'll have to improve, but so far, so good.
Look,
better than expected.
We are going to take care of your effort all the way from diaspora. We do see what you do, and sometimes as journalists, we are the ones who are supposed to push and to emphasize and to highlight what it is that people are doing. We see what you do. We see the billions and billions and billions you send home. We see the families you take care of. We see the widows and the orphans and the destitute that you take care of from diaspora. And we know you're not sitting somewhere back having income coming. You're having to struggle to earn that, to take care of your families back home in Kenya. And we appreciate you and we salute you as literal soldiers. You are soldiers out there. We do appreciate you and we love you. So that is why the Tackle dedicates every Thursday to Kenyans in diaspora. So thank you so much, sweetheart. I do appreciate you personally. All right, then. So please do not go away. Please keep on online as much as you won't be on air. Please keep tuning in. So we have Doro, who we had talked to earlier on. After talking to Mercy, you had Mercy. He's one guy I have listened to, and I'm like, wow, there is a person who is passionate about his home. So when the government, whichever government, be it the Azimio government, be it the Kenya Kwanza government that comes in, if you do not take care of Kenyans, what excuse will you have? We have Doro, who is out there in diaspora, working for her family, and she has expectations. And the only channel she has to communicate to the government that is outgoing and the one that is coming in, whichever it is, here on the Tackle, we are not biased. Whoever is going to come in, we are going to work with them. They have something to say. Doro, I don't know whether you are still around. Can you hear me, Doro?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you? There's something I know you wanted to say, and here is your chance.
Yes, I have a couple points I want to put across.
Yes, honey.
The first point, I'm going to answer your question. You asked how big the United States is in kilometers.
Humongous, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 9.8 something square, 9.8 million square kilometers.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's how big it is. But
that's like 5 Kenyas. No, not 50 Kenyas. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, literally.
But,
literally. It is 50.
My point here. And I'm going to speak in a very candid way. And I've been on the show. I'm a very outspoken person.
Yes, I've heard you.
I'm not going to mince my words here. As diasporans, we are honestly tired of hearing from our fellow Kenyans in Kenya, you keep on thanking us, oh, we really appreciate, oh, we really notice your contribution into the country.
But we do.
But yeah, I know you do. But when you keep on telling us that, and then when it comes to, let's say a diasporan decides to get up and runs for office, they are treated like a second-class citizen. I have seen that.
Hold up.
No.
I want all the political parties and their agents and everybody, because I know they're watching the tackle, because you're depending on us for bipartisan distribution of information. I want you to listen to what Dorothy has to say. Please, Dorothy, say it again and say it out loud, because the people who matter are listening. What did you say it again?
Yes. Okay, what I said is we are actually tired of just being told, oh, we appreciate what you contribute to the country. Oh, we see the money that you send in. But then when it comes to the important roles, I've come to the U.S. I've been here for 27 years. I'm tired. I've done my time.
Hold up.
Okay?
When did you go to the U.S.? That should have been 1995.
Yes.
Random math.
The thing is, I've been here. Yes, I've been here for 27 years.
Yeah.
I've done my time. I've raised my children. I want to come back to my country and serve my country. Yes, I have not run for office yet. I'm looking at what others have gone through. So a diasporan comes to run for office, and what the people do, I mean, and this has to be stopped, actually. Just either from the diasporans who are running for office, or even from any Kenyan running for office.
Yeah.
Itabiati, Mheshimiwa. First of all, why are you calling me a Mheshimiwa before I am picked?
Hiya.
Don't call me a Mheshimiwa, because you call me a Mheshimiwa and then you're expecting too much from me. You're expecting me to give you money. You eat my money. And then when it comes to the, what is it called? To the polls, you don't pick me because you say, huya yuko kwa ground. She doesn't know what is going on. We're not going to pick her. You pick the other person. But yet, you've been Mheshimiwa-ing me for 2 years, eating my money, and then you don't pick me just for the purpose that I am a diasporan.
We want to call out to the Kenyans who are Mheshimiwas, then you fail to vote. Please, people, stop PRing Mheshimiwas. We need to be a nation that operates the way the tackle operates. If you are not a Mheshimiwa, we will not Mheshimiwa you. We need to be realistic on the ground that indeed, if we know you can represent us, we will tell you so, and if we feel you cannot represent us. So you do agree that there is a lot of PR going on in this country?
Yes, and that is not good. And first of all, when somebody is an aspiring MCA, aspiring president, aspiring whatever it is, don't call them Mheshimiwa. They're aspiring, because don't do that. Honestly, don't do that. Because
agree.
it gets into their head, and then they think that they have something that they have to give you. And then as a voter, you're expecting too much from these fake Mheshimiwa that you're already calling Mheshimiwa that is not. And then they give you too much, and then at the end of the day, you disappoint them. And these are human beings. These are human beings. And
so there's bound to be emotional disappointment.
Yeah, and it's just not for diasporans. Anybody who is vying, stop this business of calling people Mheshimiwa when they're not. Honestly, when I will become a Mheshimiwa, it will be up to the people to call me a Mheshimiwa, but I'll never even introduce myself as a Mheshimiwa. What for?
But
I see people calling themselves, I am Mheshimiwa so and so. That is, it's overrated. Do your job. People will respect you, and they will accord you the title Mheshimiwa when you've earned it.
But girl, I can hear
your job.
I can hear it in your voice. You have passion for this nation. You have purpose. You have what you would want to do. Even if it is not you, or it is you backed up by your people, you have an idea that you would want to push for this nation. And I can tell, okay, the little advantage, I take that back. The advantage that the people in diaspora have is that the earning is slightly higher. Slightly, I'm being modest, because I don't want to say a whole lot higher. Then I look like I am pushing.
No, it is a whole lot higher. It is a whole lot higher.
But for purposes of broadcast, we'll say slightly. But we know it is a whole lot higher. That if you're a doctor in Kenya and a doctor in the US, the earning you cannot compare. So indeed, I want to acknowledge that when we have you people in the diaspora, you are holding families together. I tell you this, I am a beneficiary of a doctor in the US who is part of my family, and I see what she does for that side of probably not directly mine, but I see what she does. So I know that indeed you're doing a lot, and it's not just you, it's a lot of people. So I know what you're saying, that people should be respondent to the diaspora in a way that looks Steve, what's the word? There's that word that you say that unaambia watu vile kuko. Si ati unaambia watu hivi na ground iko different. So indeed, what do you think? Should we have the people in diaspora who have been doing so much come back home 6 months prior to election and start working? Or should we have people in diaspora, have people on the ground working for them? Which is it? Which one would you recommend as we await the presidential results for 2022?
I totally have a different idea, actually. First of all, let me say something before I answer your question. When in the olden days, the days of Kina Moi, Kina Kenyatta, the older Kenyatta, Kina Roberto Uko, hizo siku. People would go to the diaspora, study, and then they go back to build their country. Right now, diasporans, we've been out here. I've told you I've been here for very many years. So there's a thing or two I know that can fix my country, that can progress my country in a inaweza sukuma nchi yangu forward. But then I am not recognized. If I come home, even I'm telling you the truth, I've seen diasporans that have actually been foot soldiers in Kenya. They come there, they camp there, they have projects that they do. They do a lot of philanthropy work. Wanasaidia in order so that ikifika hata a year before elections, they ask for a seat. But they've been working. Remember, see at your combined. I know people who come home like 4 or 5 times a year.
I've seen them
so
too.
that they can do their projects. And I am one of them. But right now, I'm not interested in being a politician. When I want to become one, I will become one. But
I know you're just working for the people with your heart. I've seen you, I've heard you, I have been observing you, so I know you. I know you're not seeking anything, but you just work for your people. And I do, like, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you, girl. But indeed, I agree with you that there are people who just work for their people, and we would want Kenyans to recognize that. So what is your recommendation? What do you think that the incoming government, not just the national government, don't forget,
first of all,
that the county governments have offices, diaspora office. There's no county government that doesn't have a diaspora offices. Maybe they don't push it out there, but hakuna county government.
We don't need a diaspora office just kwa maridadi. We need an active
diaspora
office. And a person needs to be heard. I mean, if I'm coming there, I'm a nurse by profession. If I come to the county maybe and sit down and tell you the way the hospital is running, maybe we need to change A, B, C, D. Don't shush me away. Don't just ignore because I know better. I come from a first world country. That's where I live. So there are things that I see that are not in our country that I can advise you to help our country. So the fact that sisi saizi, the diaspora right now, tunakuja hapa kusoma, and then we end up using our knowledge in the diaspora instead of bringing it back home. Give us a chance to come home and progress our country, move our country forward with the information that we have.
So I do agree with you that the diaspora needs to be recognized in a way that the information that they disseminate back home needs to be absorbed in a particular way and in a very organized way so that it can be of value to the country. Is that what you're saying in a summary?
Yes. We need to feel active. I mean, I'm active because my mouth opens up all the time and I say things. But the thing is, who is listening? Is the government listening? What are they going to use about it? I mean, let me tell you, I'm not saying that I'm sitting here, I'm very knowledgeable, I'm coming to change Kenya. When I come to Kenya, it's an exchange of information. I am learning from someone in Kenya too, and I am teaching what I know from here so that we are balanced. It's a two-way street.
It
But
is.
let me go back to my point of the waheshimiwa thing.
Yeah.
The waheshimiwa culture, muheshimiwa, muhesh, sijui honorable, that needs to end. The culture of voters, I mean, people who are running for office, having to give people money. Me, by the way, when I'm running for office, don't expect money from me. I will not, in Kisii, we call it ogosera. I will not sera you.
Gonya gonya. They call it gonya gonya huko kwingine huko Lakeside.
Yeah.
Gonya gonya.
I will not sera you. So when I'm coming to ask for office, just mark my name. I will not sera you, and you better pick me because I'm coming there to change things. And that's I'm saying when I get interested. But for now, that culture needs to be curbed. Actually, whoever the next Minister of Interior is going to be, needs to put a stop to this. Like in the next elections, anybody who is caught giving voters money should be arrested. If you didn't show up there with a lorry of food to feed them, don't give any money, because that system is causing a lot of depression to these fake waheshimiwas who are not picked.
But you do realize that
because they are not.
Indeed, as where we stand as a democracy, the Republic of Kenya, voter bribery and voter buying indeed is a criminal offense. I know that it is happening. And I know that sometimes even us as journalists, we are not able to highlight it in a remarkable way, because we can't know whether this person is funding a project or bribing voters. But I do agree with you that voter bribery is something that should be taken care of. For people aspirants in diaspora, it should be taken care of intensively. And even for our local aspirants, we need not vote people who are just giving us money, but we need to vote people who look like they have substance. And some people who've been in diaspora for long, they've been exposed long enough that they can be able to deliver to Kenya in a way that probably in magnitudes that we cannot even begin to reckon, but because of our gonya attitude. You do remember the former US president's sister, what's her name? Sister Obama, Akos Obama. Yes, alisema, Dr. Akos Obama alisema tuko na shida ya gonya.
Auma, Dr.
Auma. It's not Akos, it's Auma. Na watu wakamdis sana, wakateta. But she had a point, isn't it?
Hiyo gonya itaisha. Mimi hata nataka the next government. If I have to leave the US, nikuje tu nikuwe prefect wa gonya. That nini has to stop.
Yeah.
Because these aspirants are human beings.
Yeah.
They're going to spend more than their budget to give you money, and then you're not going to vote for them.
Yeah.
And then after that, they go getting depressed. And some of them end up killing themselves. We just don't know that. Those figures are not given to us. That information is not shared with us.
Yeah.
But it has to start from the muheshimiwa. What business do you have calling me a muheshimiwa? I am not your muheshimiwa. I'm looking for a seat. Don't call me muhesh. If that has to stop first. And then the waheshimiwas, the ones who are real waheshimiwas, don't let it get in your head. Me as Doro can call you muheshimiwa because you are a muheshimiwa. But don't come and introduce yourself to me. I am muheshimiwa Doro.
Honorable.
Then that means it has gotten in your head before you even do the job you're supposed to do. It just comes out so weird and awkward.
Yeah. I agree.
That's how I see things.
I do agree with you, sweetheart. And I do agree that as Kenyans, we have got to get to that point of qualifying our leaders before we get to electing them. And we have got to stop this gonya culture of eating our leaders. Yet, we know really we are not going to elect them. There was a lot of that principle of kula kwa fulani kisha kura kwa fulani. There was that, it was sailing around, I saw it, and as a journalist and as a broadcaster who is not biased, like I don't stand for anybody, I do agree with Doro that it is indeed not a respectable way of operation. But we are live on the tackle and we are looking at election result. We are waiting for Wafula Chebukati. Like, as here on the tackle, we don't bluff. You can say my fifth is fifth. The other person say their fifth is fifth. But here on the tackle, we do operate on figures that have come from the IEBC. And
can you explain your figures? Because your figures are not adding up. They're not anywhere. They are making voters look a little bit more than the people who voted.
Honey, as a journalist, I will tell you this. I am not even able to declare any figure until the IEBC does that. Why? It's because everybody is declaring their fifth as the fifth. So what we do is that it doesn't matter. I have my people in Azimio deep down who are there in the heart, and they are my people and I love them and they have sent me figures, but I cannot declare them yet. I also do have my people in Kenya Kwanza who have declared whatever they have declared, but I cannot declare them yet. Why? It's because we are a bipartisan media house. Indeed, people look at us and tell us, oh, you're online, yada, yada, yada. We like the web, the World Wide Web is wider than what the Communications Authority of Kenya has been able to distribute as channels of communication in this country. That when we are online as the tackle on Gerald Bitok, we go wider than any other media house in this country. So before I declare anything that has been sent to me by my Azimio people who I love, and I tell you, my Azimio people, I love you, and I know they know, and my Kenya Kwanza people, that I feel you. Before I declare that, I have to wait for the institution that is mandated by the constitution of this country. Not because I disrespect any of you, but I'm following my constitution of the nation. And I know, Mercy, you're out there online, and Doro, you're out there. Msiende mahali, kaini papo hapo, that I know I have figures and numbers and details. I have details that I cannot even be able. Oh, gosh. I have details from last night. I have details, girl. Doro, I have details, but I will not declare them because I do not want to usurp the responsibility of the constitutionally mandated IEBC. So once they declare, 1 second later, you will see me tell you, this is what I had. I already had it last evening by 4 p.m. But no. I respect institutions. Okay. So allow me, Doro.
No.
You do.
Let me say something.
You understand me, though?
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but what I'm saying is, I think the Kenyans have done so well. If I come and say Baba is my fifth, Baba has been my fifth ever since he started running.
I love you for that, girl.
Ruto is his fifth. Yeah. Ruto has been his fifth since he started running.
Totally.
But the thing is, that is not declaring. When somebody comes and stands live and talks to us like Itumbi did yesterday, to me that is illegal. If he was in the US, his ass would have been arrested. Excuse my language. If he was in the US, he would have been arrested. You cannot stand there. He assumed Chebukati's job. Why panic? Why don't you just wait? Why don't you just wait?
That was just his position. I am not going to declare it as Mso or as even Bitok when he's there. Unajua Bitok anatanga between IEBC, anaenda kwa Azimio, anaenda kwa Kenya Kwanza, anaenda kwa Agano, anaenda zote. So nimemwambia sita declare until IEBC declare, ndio nitasema. Why? Because of our constitution tulipass 2010. Doro, si unakumbuka? Jasho tulitoa.
Yes, nakumbuka.
So hata nani akisema nini, hiyo ni yake. Hapa kwa tackle, hata kama tuko na numbers, naona numbers hapa za kwanza. Hey.
Numbers zenu hazi make sense.
Kwanza naona namba za Azimio. Watu wa Azimio wananitumia tu, nawaambia tulieni watu wangu na wapenda. Watu wa Kenya Kwanza ndio wamenyamaza, but hata wao naona wanatuma
sita hizo wamenyamaza kwa sababu
si
wameongelewa na Itumbi amekuja huko amedeclare, you know, that whatever Itumbi did yesterday, me I don't miss my words, I'm saying this, whatever Itumbi did yesterday was incitement.
No.
That to start fighting when we are very premature in the county.
That was on his account. He did it on his account. He didn't do on national television. Let him say whatever he wants on his account, and let Etale or whoever in Kenya Kwanza say whatever. But here on the tackle, because we are unbiased, we are only giving you what is coming from IEBC. That's why Itumbi akisema nini, Etale akisema nini, Kenya Kwanza wamesema nini, Azimio wamesema nini, tunangoja until, na hata watu wanatuuliza hapa, mbona msemi hapana? Tutasema saa zile IEBC imesema. Kwa nini? Tunafuata katiba ya Kenya. We are following, you know, we are protecting you people out there. Unajua huku nyumbani kila mtu anafuata yule mtu wake. Hata mtu wa Jakoya na Bangi na inaitwaje hiyo Steve Ndom, they are following their guy. No, I'm not. Actually, even Bitok told me, Mso, ukienda studio usifuate ule mtu ni wako. Whether we ni mtu wa ANC wa Mdavadi, cause ninaona pale Mdavadi amesimama ako pale na William Ruto. Whether we ni mtu wa Sabina Chege is one lady. I know she's a journalist like me, so I passionately feel her. Like I totally feel her. But I will not declare anything she said. Why? Nangoja ile kitu itasemwa na ile institution iko mandated na nini? Na katiba, because I don't want to mix you guys in diaspora because you've been on the tackle for the last 100 years. Siezi hesabu Doro. It's a long time. We don't want to mix anybody. So we want, if the IEBC says it's Kenya Kwanza, ndio tutasema. If the IEBC says it's wengine ni Azimio, well, that's what we are going to say. So even if I receive all this feed, I will be saying, rumor has it. But I don't want to confuse Kenyans. As a journalist, I have my personal opinion. But when I come here on air, I am mandated to take care of you people and make sure that I do not frustrate you, and I do not make you get depressed, and I do not make you go into that session. Masi, I know you're online. Unaona nimpendelea Doro cause ni mrembo kama mimi. Doro, sisi watu wenye tulisoma hizo siku za Moi tunapendeleanaga, but keep it online, usiende mbali. Tunaona Masi yako pale. Watu wa diaspora tunawatambua hapa kwa the tackle. In fact, in this country, I tell you this, in this election cycle, outside of the tackle, ni wapi pengine watu wa diaspora mumetambulika hivi? Whether you're in Azimio, whether in Wajakoya, whether in Agano, ni wapi mumetambulika besides the tackle? I tell you, people in diaspora, we at the tackle do recognize your contribution to the economy, your contribution to the politics of this country, your contribution to everything, even your contribution to the tackle. Joe Arama, I know you're watching me where you are, sweetheart. Please give me a buzz and we can talk between you and I and Doro and Mercy, and we talk about what is happening to our country. It doesn't matter who is going to be president. Our tackle Thursday is going to proceed every day. Either way, whichever president we will have, we will work with that president and make sure that the tackle boosts the position of the people in diaspora, because we know you people take care of us out there. You take care of our families. Mercy, can you hear me? Mercy. Doro, si unipe break kidogo nione Mercy anasema nini, but hakuna moja nimesupport until IEBC iseme ni fulani. I do not have a person that I am vouching for here on the tackle. As an individual, different story. But here on the tackle, bipartisan, Mnajua Bitok tulimuita mtu wa Azimio. Sio mtu wa Azimio. Ni mtu wa wananchi. Whoever ataingia, whether ni Raila, whether ni Ruto, whether ni Wajakoya, whether ni Mwaure wa Ihiga, Bitok atasimama naye na tutasukuma maslahi ya wananchi. So, nani ambaye from diaspora? Masi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I'm kind of a little bit doing something here quick.
Unafanya nini? As long as sio kulima, ama sio pekejen?
So just something personal.
Oh, okay. Wow, tell us.
Yeah.
We were with Doro and she was telling us that she wanted to know the position of us people here at the Taco, and we admitted that hatuna position. Mwenye ataingia ndiye tutasukumana na yeye na tutaangalia maslahi ya watu ambao wako diaspora, na tunajua mnatulisha sana, mnatunza familia zenu back at home, and hatuwadharau, tunawaheshimu, tunawaenzi watu wetu wa diaspora kwa sababu munashikilia economy ya Kenya hii.
Let me add, I had a complaining about the way people from outside the country, I mean, us coming back home, mambo ya ofisi na, trying to run. I agree with her 100% because there are so many people who want to take part in the political process in the country and try to help and everything else.
Yeah.
But when you go home, first of all, we have this like almost a cold war, sorry to say, and I know you say, people appreciate, yes, the efforts we do, but there is sort of a cold war between watu wa nyumbani na, I think watu wa nyumbani, the way they see watu wa, the so-called watu wa maju. I don't like that word because I don't think it's maju, but yeah. So there is that. Even, let me give you an example. Even constitutionally, remember when there was some lady who was appointed called Mwende Mwinzi or something like that?
Yes. I remember the chaos around Mwende Mwinzi and her, what was it she had got?
She was appointed to Japan or something like that.
Yes, she was appointed to Japan consulate, and her citizenship was a question that she had dual citizenship, and Kenyans were like, she does not deserve, and she's a Kenyan from Kitui County, and her parents are from indeed, I don't want to really say it, but you do know. And there was a lot of issue. What do you have to say about that? Mwende Mwinzi is girl. I know, I'm from that region, so I know her personally. So I know what you're talking about.
Yes, I was kind of aggrieved in that, if someone is qualified and someone is in Kenya already and they have a job, I'm pretty sure there are jobs that we have given even to people who are not born in Kenya or Wazungus or whatever. Kenyans will never complain. But someone has come from a diaspora or whatever, is, he wants to get a job. And we have people who are qualified and more exposed than the people even at home. But the exposure someone has being outside the country is totally different than a person who's just been in Kenya, even if you became a professor in Kenya. So sometimes you find there is this notion that there is a pushback from, locally in the country, there's a pushback from a person coming from abroad, especially coming to run for office. And for those who have, you would be surprised that people that we know ourselves that land outside the country, but because when you go home, first, one of the things why we have never had that transformative change since the group that was way back since independence and a few maybe in the 80s that came abroad and, went back, is because now the way it is, the situation is a person comes from here, the United States or the UK or anywhere, and in order to conform back home, he gets sacked or gets swallowed by the village mentality. So there are so many people we know, they have now to conform. So you cannot go back and change nothing because that's not what the people want. Or that doesn't sound so, you know what I mean? So you go home, mtu anaanza kuimba whoever, or mtu anaimba praises to a leader and everything else. So you wonder, this person is very learned. I mean, we have people who have gone to schools. Americans admire even those schools and they haven't gone to, but a Kenyan has been able to go. But once they go back home, they have no choice. They know, well, if I have to do some, whatever, let me get into office. But you have to sing a song that is the song at home. Yeah. And then after that, you get stuck because now you cannot implement that change because you boxed yourself in.
There's something
You know what I mean?
mentioned with Doro about the Gonya attitude of Kenyans. And she mentioned that probably it could be because of the poverty levels in Kenya. Also, it could be because of people taking advantage of others, that we cannot be able to strike a chord or strike a how do I put it in a polite way so that I do not look like I'm belittling anybody or I'm elevating anybody? That indeed you are in diaspora, you went there, you were sent by your family, maybe your parents and the family surrounding them, but indeed they do anticipate you'll take care of the people in the village, maybe not in a massive way, but kidogo tu vile. However, inafika
it's cultural too, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is cultural too. So I don't know where we draw the line, because I, even from my personal experience, I have had people back at our rural home where people are wondering, where do you draw the line? And I want you to talk about it in the next 2 minutes briefly before we bring in our next caller. How do you talk about our current situation where we are electing a presidency, the diaspora, and what the diaspora anticipate from the incoming presidency, and our expectations of the people on the ground of what the people they have sent to the diaspora can be able to do for the grassroots, so that the people stop having too much expectations or too little expectations about the people in diaspora. Give that to us on the tackle live for all the Kenyans to hear in the next 2 minutes, sweetheart.
So, well, that's a loaded question. Okay, let me just go quickly. When it comes to the gonya, attitude of, nipe or whatever, it's both because of poverty, but also, I had this talk with someone before, and someone said, we have this thing in our country where someone else's something is sweeter, even if you have it. So you find someone even has millions in their account, like in Atakwambia, buy me some lunch. You see that?
Yeah.
And they can be able to afford, but it's always sweeter to huh?
Hana njaa lakini atakuomba tu.
Yeah, it's good to, it's like, it's from a selfish point of, wacha tukule ya fulani. Let's go and eat that. Even if you have it. Someone could have millions in their account, but hey, can you buy your lunch? So it's a very, it's a sad situation, but yeah. Anyways, coming back to, the expectations. I know the candidates, the expectations are high, and it's going to get high as time goes, because the population of Kenya is increasing. The size of Kenya is static. The size of Kenya is not increasing in terms of land.
We are looking at 50 million people right now, 22 million voters, 14 million who turned out, including diaspora. What is it you have in your heart that you expect that whichever administration is going to come in, be it Kenya Kwanza, be it Azimio, be it Agano, be it Roots, unatarajia wakija wataja na nini for the diaspora and for the people on
for us, well, for both I've talked about it. Kenya Kwanza, I know they have talked about it. I know the other side, they have talked about it. I think by virtue that I'm talking to you now, and we know finally we have some people who are really, within the Kenya Kwanza or within the Azimio.
Yeah.
I think there's a progress. We are making progress so far. With this administration that's leaving, they just stopped. Nothing happened. But with these two factions, we have progress. The way I see it, there's more influence, there's more progress. I hope one day we get to the point. There's a country called Moldova. If you go to a country of Moldova, the people outside who belong to the country have more than people inside. I don't even get the point.
Hold it right there. I need to get something from you straight. You do agree that the government that is going out, you do not have much to say about them in terms of whether they've delivered or not.
I know the president talked about it, but they didn't do nothing.
They didn't do nothing. So indeed,
they didn't do nothing. So,
you're looking at whether Azimio or Kenya Kwanza come in, what your expectations are, and you would would want us here at the tackle to communicate that to them, because I know they are listening. I want you to say with authority, because I know for a fact.
No, the thing is, they need to, the issue about the diaspora issues need to be addressed, because we are becoming a key part. Now we just talk about the numbers and the money and everything else. As time progresses, we are getting to be more and more influential. So they better start paying attention to the diaspora issues, or else. Now we might say whatever, but diaspora, even with these elections, people were calling and convincing people to vote for who and who. As time goes, and as either the numerical numbers are increasing in terms of people who are now living abroad, in terms of the money factor and everything else, whoever wins the election better pay attention to the diaspora.
I do agree.
And actually, it's even good for Kenya itself.
Yeah. Yes. I do agree with you, Mercy, that whoever, and I want to send this message out to the factions in all the 4 contesting candidates, the Kenya Kwanza, the Azimio, the Roots, and the Agano, that the people in diaspora here on the tackle are talking to you, and they are telling you that indeed you have got to do something about the people in diaspora, because they are the ones who have been supporting the populations where you have failed. And we would want to plead with the government that is coming in to help the diaspora, help the people.
Not only help, but there needs to be an office, either the office of the president or whatever, that deals with diaspora issues, or even a cabinet. Because remember, we are the 48th county. We are the 48th county. We are maybe the kind of, I don't know what the numbers, but we are the wealthiest, so to say.
Diaspora in 48th county. You are right. I agree with you, Mercy.
Yeah.
Diaspora.
We are the 48th and we are the wealthiest in terms of the money we're sending and everything else. So something has to be established, either the office of the president or foreign ministry, whatever. Something has, there has to be like, what they call it, undersecretary or whatever they call it. Someone who's just in charge of diaspora issues.
Yeah, we are checking online the diaspora remittances. We are in August 2022, so we are going to look at the diaspora remittances between June 2021 and June 2022 as a fiscal year. Here on the tackle, we are going to check, and we are going to be telling our people what is happening, how much the diaspora has been participating in supporting the government, the existing government, in sustaining the people of Kenya, and why the diaspora is demanding, not requesting, but demanding that the government that is going to come in should factor the diaspora as a contributory. You know, the River Nile has distributaries and contributories. So the diaspora is a contributory to the economy of our country. That is why here on The Tackle with Gerald B. Talk, we have a show on Thursday for the diaspora to be able to tell us what it is that is happening out there and what it is that is coming in here. I do agree with you, Mercy. I will let you go, but please do not go very far. We will be getting back to you, and we will be telling you what is happening when it comes to the tallies, and we will be asking for your opinion, what is happening on the ground out there, because Kenyans are really eager to hear what you people in the diaspora who voted, because you know there are some Kenyans who are here did not vote. They are regretting. They are saying, guy kama wenzetu wako diaspora na wamevote na mimi sikuvote, mtu ana regret. So we want to hear the opinion of the voters in diaspora, and we do appreciate you and appreciate your contribution to the tackle every Thursday, and we are not going to stop. Steve, I do agree we need to add the airtime for the people we have in diaspora. Mercy, usiende mbali. Kaa tu pale pale, nitakutafuta sasa hivi, nikimtafuta Gerald, niko sure ako huko mashinani, ameenda kwa watu wa Azimio, ameenda kwa watu wa Kenya Kwanza na watu wa Agano na watu wa Roots, ajue kunaendaje huko chini, so usiende mbali basi. Tutakuwa tukikupatia feedback. Asante sana. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And you are live on The Tackle. We will proceed. You know, behavior here on The Tackle. Tukikaka tukiongeongea. Tunaomba. Na hatuombi ati maombi ile ya pepo. Tunaomba na national anthem. Kwa nini tunaomba na national anthem? Kwa sababu our founding fathers, they were not crazy. when they made up that national anthem, when they constituted it, when they sat down and wrote it and made it, it was a prayer. It does not matter whether you're Hindu, you're atheist, you're pagan, you're Christian, you're religion zingine Kenya, you're Islam, you're whichever religion you are in Kenya, the national anthem speaks to you. So we are going to be playing the national anthem over and over in the next 2 or 3 minutes as we seek to find out what is happening. But here on the tackle, do not move. Wherever you are, hata kama ulikuwa umelog off online umeenda kukula, rudi. Tunakuja na results za election 2020. Mahesabu imepotea. Chineke. 2022 general election, presidential, gubernatorial, senatorial, MP, women rep, MCA, nimesahau nani? Nimewahesabu wote. Nimehesabu presidential, nimehesabu gubernatorial, nimehesabu senatorial, nimehesabu women rep, nimehesabu MCA, nimehesabu kisha MP, ambaye yoyote alikuwa amesimama anataka kuchaguliwa hapa kwenye the tackle. We are bipartisan, and whoever is elected is going to be our leader as Kenyans. We are going to take a short break where we're going to pray, and we're going to pray with our national anthem, because our founding fathers in the 60s, they were not crazy. They were very sober when they said, Mungu nguvu yetu ilete baraka kwetu. Kenya ni yetu sote. Tunawaomba muwe na uvumilivu, na hapa kwenye the tackle hatusiti kuwapatia information ambavyo vile kuko tunaona vile mnatutumia ujumbe, basi mtulie pale, tutawapatia results za vile kunaendelea. So Steve, tucheze.
Mungu nguvu yetu
Dear Kenya, 5 years are gone. We are here again. We are here to build a resolute Kenya. We are here to build a peaceful Kenya. We are here to build a better Kenya. It is your right and responsibility to participate in a peaceful, free, fair and credible election. It is your civic right, your religious duty and your social responsibility. My dear Kenya, on 9th August and after the election day, I urge you to pursue peace and prosperity of our beloved country through word and deed. Listen to this. Accept the election results that are announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, appreciating that only the IEBC has the authority to announce election results. Encourage anyone who is dissatisfied with the election results to seek redress in courts of law as provided for in the Constitution of Kenya, and refuse to participate in mass action or demonstrations regardless of provocation or incitement before, during or after the elections. May this be an election with a difference. Do your part, Kenya. Pray for peace, and as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone as recorded in Romans 12 verse 18. Always remember, mimi ni Mkenya, wewe ni Mkenya, sisi ni wa Kenya.
Afternoon live on The Tackle with Gerald Bitok. I am your host. My name is Modhoni. Everybody asks me, ni Modhoni wa Jimmy, but Bitok calls me Mso. You can also call me Mso. I am on Facebook, NONI BELLE MSOO. And we were here looking at how it is going round the country. Now, wherever you are, send your messages, your videos. I've been seeing your videos. Some of those videos mnanitumia siza siasa. Ukinitumia video ambayo si ya siasa sitaipost. Kia Mungu nyi watu wa the tacklers. I love you guys. I totally I live for you. But indeed, I do appreciate you, tacklers. I know you have been on the lookout for what is happening out there on the ballot, for presidential, for senatorial, for gubernatorial, for member of parliament, and also for a women rep in parliament. That is a member of parliament, that it is the gender quota. It is the MP for women, and also for the MCA, that is the member of the county assemblies. Very, very, very important elected members of the county assembly. Those are the people who are going to be determining how your county assemblies are going to be running. Your governors cannot be able to operate without your elected MCAs. And here on The Tackle, we want to remind you on Steve, inaitwaje? Tunawahimiza, tunawakumbusha kwa kuhimiza ya kwamba hapa kwa The Tackle, we are bipartisan. It does not matter who is elected where. Bado tutatangaza hayo matokeo na tutawakaribisha hao ambao wamechaguliwa na wananchi, kwa sababu nyinyi wananchi ndio kusema. Katiba ya 2010 ilituambia hivi, na ikatuambia bila kusita that mwananchi, the Kenyan, that voter is the sovereign owner of this country. Na hapa kwenye The Tackle tunaheshimu mwananchi. Mwananchi tunamuita mwenye nchi, mwenye kusema. Wananchi ndio kusema. The 50 million of you, maybe not all of you are eligible voters, but 22 million of the 50 million population in this country are eligible voters. Maybe not all of you were able to go out there and vote. Some of you were in diaspora, like we have seen the people who have been communicating to us in diaspora. Some of you were unwell. Some of you were working, not in a position to cast your votes. But we do respect you and respect your opinion here on The Tackle. And we want to sign out and want to give you good night break. Sijui nani yako mtandaoni. Masi? Hello? I'm looking at my diaspora people here on the tackle, and Mercy, I'm looking for you, sweetheart. If you can hear me live on the tackle, because people here have been listening to your opinion, and they've been saying Mercy akona point, baba. Mama, nakusikia vile umesema kuhusu your opinion on the governorship of this country. And if you can hear me, please let me know before we sign out. Right now, it is 15 minutes past 7. Is it 15 minutes past 7 in Nairobi, Kenya? I am sure it is a different hour in New York, in Florida, and in Washington, D.C. Mercy, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Who do we have online?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can
Mercy.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, we want to sign out of our broadcast here on The Tackle, and you do know that today is Diaspora Day, and before we sign out, we want to hear what the Diaspora has to say as a sign out, essentially when it comes to our elections, our voting patterns, and the expectations of the people when it comes to the government that is going to come in. Sweetheart, please tell us what it is that you have in mind.
Well, I think, so far so good. I think we are making progress. I think with what we saw with this election that we're about to conclude in terms of, it is not just about personalities, but if you saw, it was also, the issues came up this year.
Yeah.
Or this time around. So I think it's a good thing that now we are getting to that point where it's not just, wewe ni fulani. It's about what are you going to do?
It does
what
not.
Are you, explain to us. Remember people saying, explain to us bottom up, explain to us this.
It does not matter you are who.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that at least, it's a start, but as time goes, people are going to ask, hey, how are you going to do this? And, if you're going to do this, what about our taxes? What about this type of expenditure that you're going to do? And, so as we progress, we are making, it's a start. So at least it's not just about, hey, I'm going to vote for someone because it's my tribe or, we are still there in a way. Everywhere else, even in the United States, there's still that.
Kidogo.
Someone is coming from a state, they'll say to the home state, they always want to win the home. So there's that thing about mtoto wa nyumbani.
Yeah.
It happens everywhere. But, the way we are making progress, and I think we are progressing even faster than what we expected.
I do agree with you.
Politicians,
we are making progress. I do agree with you. We are making progress from tribal-based politics to issues-based politics, and that is why indeed it is important for the contributions of the Kenyans who are out there in diaspora, who have had to bear the brunt of the issues in our families on the ground. That is why we keep asking you here on The Tackle with Gerald Bitok, we keep asking you of what it is that you would want our people who we employ, who we hire. Unajua tuliambiwa sisi ndio masongo wao. Sasa tukiwapatia job, the diaspora needs to state to them, tunataka mukiingia pale, mufanye ABCD. Sasa nitakuomba tafadhali, my dear, uambie ABCD. Kwa sababu IEBC haijasema bado, niko sure itasema in the next short while. But mwenye ataingia, whoever it is, afanye kitu cha kwanza, cha pili, cha tatu, nitakupatia pointi 4. 4 things that you would anticipate that the incoming government is going to do for Kenyans and for Kenyans in diaspora that is going to improve the status of the people of this great republic, dear. Please go ahead.
Okay, first and foremost, whoever gets elected, regardless, first and foremost, they need to try and fulfill their promises locally to the people, especially about the economy.
Absolutely.
That's something they need to be focused on, like nothing else, especially job, because you build the economy, there's job creation. That's number one. Number two, I hope the person who's going to come in, we've had an election and everything else, will try at least and create a united country.
Absolutely.
We don't have to agree on everything, but
the unity.
Try and, you know what I mean? Like try and feel the other person belongs regardless, so it's not that one area feels like they've never been considered in, the leadership of the country.
Yeah.
So, okay, coming to the diaspora, the person who's going to get elected first and foremost, establish, either an office or, wherever it is, foreign ministry, whatever, that is especially dedicated to diaspora issues.
Yeah.
Diaspora issue, and it has to be broad, because when you think about diaspora, you got to look at it like the government. There is investment, there's banking, there's legal, there's consular services, there's so many things. It's abroad.
Yeah.
So the person has to make sure because, when you cater for, tourists and everything else, also cater for your own people. But we feel like even with us, at the embassy, someone told me one time, you walk into the embassy, a foreigner comes in, Kenyans are pushed aside, the person is treated, and you're a Kenyan, you've come to the Kenyan embassy, but you're a second-class citizen at the Kenyan embassy.
That is very worrying, and I do agree
that's
with
very
you.
Worrying, and it's something that happens. It's not something that I'm just making it up.
Yes,
So
I agree with you.
Kenyan-
You're not making it up. I have seen people raise that issue of foreigners being given precedence over our locals, and indeed we want the people who are looking at us and looking at the people in diaspora who are communicating to the government that might come in, whichever it is, through the tackle. We would want to highlight the issue that our people out there in the diaspora are raising, that we would want Kenyans to be given precedence over. Not because the foreigners are bad. No. It's just because we want to feel that we belong to our own nation. I agree with you, sweetheart. So
And also
now your
one
sign
thing,
out.
in order to be able to solve that issue, in order to be able to solve that issue, they need to find a way. I know it's hard, to be done everywhere.
Yeah.
But a country like the United States, countries like the UK and others, we have qualified Kenyans who have studied abroad or who are living abroad. The best thing is try and make sure you have as many diasporians working at those particular locations. Because it helps also in understanding the issues and the things that people are facing and everything else. And that would be a good thing, like the way I'm saying to you now, these are the issues. You see, because I have lived here. So you cannot just appoint people and, most of them sometimes, it's tokenism, right? So someone is appointed to an embassy, comes green. No, we need people that have lived here, either diasporians or diaspora people who are still here, who can apply for that, those jobs and get them.
So hold it. You would want that the people who have had experience with living, working, and just being abroad and dealing with and being business people abroad to be the one taking care of diaspora issues, unlike the ordinary situation where we get somebody from a random ministry locally and we post them as what do you call them, as an ambassador or a high commissioner or a member of the consulate. So you would prefer that, as much as we are factoring their education status, their credentials and their ability, that it needs to be somebody who has got some experience about living abroad, so they can be able to deliver to the Kenyans who are already living abroad and others who might find themselves living abroad. Is that what you're saying in a summary?
Yes, I mean, the people working at the consulate offices need to be people. I mean, even if it's someone appointed from home, at least have some people who either diasporans who, and I know there are so many people who would offer themselves for such jobs. To work at the embassy and be able to help with different consulate, because why lie? Most of the people that are appointed, it's tokenism. It's someone's cousin. It's someone who supported maybe their, like this time of the election. So someone is appointed, hey, to India or to this. And the person is sent there and is starting from scratch just because they were getting rewarded for what they did instead of someone who really knows. And here you're dealing with the issues that deal with people. directly. I mean, it's not a joke. It's not something that they're just going to sit there. If you come to the embassy, the DC embassy, you're dealing with thousands of Kenyans, that their issues that they're dealing with. It's so diverse. And for a person who has not that had that experience, will not be able to tackle those issues unless they have someone who has experienced those issues also working.
Yeah.
I mean, you can appoint whoever, but at least have people.
Somebody with some semblance of experience, like somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, there's so many people. I had Doro telling you she's been here for 20-some years.
27 years. That's almost 3 decades, give or take. Steve, you can check for me the last 1 decade, what has happened in terms of diaspora remittance in the last 10 years, as we talk to Mercy. But as Steve checks, we want to look at the billions and billions and billions, because I saw this gentleman who's in charge of Central Bank. He's called Mr. Njoroge, and he said something about diaspora remittance recently when we were doing the fiscal issues 2 months ago, and the diaspora remittance was hefty this year, and that was post-COVID. So we don't know pre-COVID how much the diaspora remittance was. So it must have been twice as much. So I do agree with you. The contribution of the
COVID,
diaspora.
I think people sent even more money.
Yes.
I think I saw somewhere the money was sent even more because of, the lockdowns that had happened. So people tended to need more assistance than how it used to be before.
Actually, it was because probably people here were not working, and some people over there were working, so they were able to be on the job and they could be able to transmit something at home, and they were very, very, very sympathetic and empathetic to the situation back at home, that the random person down there in the village is not working. So we cannot, the diaspora cannot be gainsaid when it comes to the contribution to the Kenyan economy. And I do insist on this, and I do agree. A whole lot of leaders in Kenya Kwanza, leaders in Azimio have spoken about the diaspora, and here on The Tackle, we are going to be pushing those issues and airing them every Thursday when it comes to the diaspora and the situation that is on hand, because we want to see. So indeed, because we want to log out and go home and leave the rest of the fine detail to the IEBC, not because we cannot be able to stay here up until morning, but because we are respecting the instituted or the mandated institutions, we would want a final sign out. What are the Kenyans anticipating that the IEBC will do in the next 2 or 3 seconds? Tell us.
Repeat that question again.
I want to know what the Kenyans out there are hoping for in as an outcome of this election in terms of substance. What is it? What's your feel?
I mean, my personal view is I hope whoever's going to come in, will be better than the previous. I'm not indicting the previous administration. I'm not saying they did bad.
True.
I'm just saying, with every successive regime that comes in, you hope they are going to, do better than the previous one. So that's what I mean. In terms of the economy, let them work on it. In terms of just, what they call utangamano, people relations in the country. Yes, in terms of the people outside, improve on it. In terms of foreign policy, improve. I mean, so, and I think they will. I think either or, I think we're going to see an improvement in terms of, by the new government in terms of, the different issues that they have to deal with. But also Kenyans, this is my request to any Kenyan listening there, hold whoever you have elected accountable, from the MCA all the way to the top.
Hold your leaders accountable.
Mheshimiwa. No, that Mheshimiwa works for you.
So you want to ask Kenyans to hold our leaders accountable to the last detail of that statement.
In a way, we are to blame too.
Yeah.
Wananchi are to blame, because if Wananchi were tough on the leader, and the leader knows they cannot go back home until they come and explain, did they deliver? What are they coming to? Because here in the United States, the the elected officials, when they go back, like now, this August now, they're about to start their holiday.
Yeah.
They hold the town halls.
Yeah.
And in those town halls, you'll be asked by a person, hey, we heard you say this, or this thing is supposed to be passed. How is it going to help us?
Yeah.
And or why are you supporting this? We think this thing is not going to help us.
Yeah.
So they're held accountable.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Indeed.
And personally, to be honest, I really hoped if we had the situation that we have here of, you know, like in the United States, the equivalent of MPs have elections every 2 years.
Yeah.
The ones who are senators every 6 years.
Yeah.
The reason why that every 2 years is really important sometimes because after every 2 you go back. So it means in those 2 years you have to work.
So
but
the Congress in the US is after 2 years and Senate is after 4 years.
6 years. After 6 years you get elected.
Senate is
you go for the election.
Yeah. So
a senator goes for 6 and the whole house, they call it the house, which is like the MP, like the August house. All of them go every 2 years. Like in November, they're going back for elections.
That's a Congress.
You know, they got elected in, what's up?
Congress.
Yeah, no, Congress is both, Senate and the House. That's the definition of, you know, like Parliament, but they have the House and the Senate.
So for the districts,
the House is like
every
the
2 years.
equivalent of MPs. Yeah. Every 2 years they go back.
Yeah.
And for the Senate, they go every 6 years, but not all the Senate. You know what most people don't know? In the United States, it's been staggered because the Senate is 100 people. That's it. So every year, every 2 years, there's 33, and then the next year is 33, and then 34.
Ah, that makes 100.
To create a rotation.
Oh.
And also for like, in case of anything, there's continuity of government. You see how it's done. So there's going to be, I think, 34 senators this year.
Yeah.
They're going for re-election. Yeah. And then 2 years, 2024 will be 33. 2026 will be 33 of them, and then 34. See how it goes? So there are some who are not going for re-election. So that, you know, they can still keep on tackling the issue. But the rest of the House who are equivalent MPs, they have to go back every 2 years and get re-elected. But what I'm saying, I wish we had such a system because at least for those 2 years, someone is working. Knowing very well after 2 years. But now in Kenya, for those who have won now, we're going to see them 2027.
5 years.
So they can say they're not doing nothing. Huh?
So in the US, every 2 years, there's somebody who's worried about their performance. So that means
yes. So you have to keep on working. If you don't, you're out.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I remember a long time ago, we used to elect, was it our mayor? Steve, ilikuwa ni mayor, tulikuwa tunachagua after 2 years. I think there used to be a situation.
Yeah,
it was the mayor we used to elect after 2 years. And it made sense. I think it was a British kind of, so it was something we had borrowed from the British system of governance, but it made sense that you need to keep some of these people on their toes, that at any given point, they're up for election on performance basis. So I do agree with you, sweetheart.
To give you a history of it, the reason why the US has the 2 year thing, it's because when the country was founded, you know, the issue of having career politicians didn't exist. I mean, in the 1800s, they didn't happen.
Yeah.
So a person who's like a local farmer in your town, who's maybe known, so anasimama for the office, anasema ndawasaidia this, and then after 2 years, I solve the problem that was facing the people then. The person goes back to whatever they do, maybe farming or whatever, another person stands. So it became that way, like a tradition. Of course, it was legally, you know, codified in law, but so that's how it was. But now you see, even here, people complain that in as much as the 2 year thing, we have now created also career politicians. So people over and over and over, you find the people in their 80s still running.
They're still running
but
for something or other.
Accountability.
I absolutely agree.
So one need to step up.
I do agree that us as citizens need to step up, and tacklers and Kenyans in general. Today is Thursday, it is Diaspora Day, and you have heard all day from the Kenyans in diaspora and their take, because they have had a touch or a feel of how the democracies out there operate, and they would want us to buy a little bit and to, borrow a little bit in what it is that is happening out there, and it is making things work in diasporas that can work locally here in Kenya. So, sweetheart, I am going to let you go. It is 7:30 here in Kenya. We are still waiting for the outcome. And we know for you, Taklas, you're waiting for us to give you the feedback like we said earlier on. And we want you to communicate to everybody in diaspora that indeed it does not matter the numbers that we have. We are respecting the institutions that were placed empowered by the Constitution. So we are waiting for the IEBC to make declarations so that us here in the TACO make declarations. So please forgive us when you see us taking a slow step. It's not that we don't want to send you messages. It's not that we don't have information. It's just that we are respecting the institutions that are mandated by our Constitution 2010 to declare some of these results. Unless something has been declared by the IEBC here on the tackle, it is just but a projection. So thank you so much, Mercy, and all those other people in the diaspora. And we will be linking up on and on and on. And next Thursday is also Diaspora Day. But in the meantime, continue sending us your messages, and whatever you send us is booked as an issue and is forwarded out there to the respective people who matter in both sides of the political divide, whether Azimio, whether Agano, or whether Kenya Kwanza. So indeed, thank you so much, Mercy, for your contribution. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And you have that deep voice that works well for broadcasting. Thank you so much. All right, Steve, what else? Who else do we have from the diaspora? I can see the people in diaspora are beginning to wake up. So yes, indeed, you are going to work. So we have Anthony Kiduyu who is saying, please, can we know if the results come from the IEBC portal, and can we get the numbers broken down from every country by numbers? Yes, we are working on that. However, we have told you it is not because we do not have the numbers. It is just because we do not want to put the cart before the horse, that indeed it does not matter what numbers we have, that we post whatever it is that is mandated by the IEBC as per the 2010 Constitution of Kenya for purpose of fairness for our Agano roots, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio followers here on the tackle. We are taking care of everybody. And indeed, kuna mtu amesema, ukiona Bitok ameleta hii, jua he knows the truth, but he doesn't tell his followers. No, Bitok doesn't bluff. He has nothing to lose or nothing to gain. He will tell you what is happening. And indeed, I can see Julius Kenya saying, peace for Kenyan is paramount, that the winner win fairly. That's what we're praying. And following from Kanairo Kimani, Jack Juma, you're saying Bitok, Himambo, tunaona Ruto akombele. Then unaona, yes, you come from a first world country, but the ideas will be good for the country. I think that was a message for the people in diaspora. Francis Kariuki was asking, please explain the difference of the polling station. I think he was asking between a polling center and a polling station, and I think we did explain that earlier on. It was, the results are over. We are waiting his account. Tunazingoja. Indeed, I can see messages. As long as Baba anaongoza ni sawa. As long as Ruto anaongoza, I'm good. So Baba people, Ruto people, all of you are waiting for either of them to be okay. Leave Baba alone, amepita. Glory be to God ni Ruto. I can see all of kila mtu anaombea mtu wake. Here on the tackle tunawaombea wote. Whoever atapita tutakuwa tuko ready kutangaza ni nani. All right. So indeed we want to sign out at 7:30 live on the tackle, and indeed we will continue to post the results as they come in at the point where Wafula Chebukati, the IEBC chairman, is going to be doing his broadcast. We are going to make sure that we relay to you the communication of the results of the presidential, election outcome, because we know Wafula Chebukati is the National Returning Officer for the IEBC. That means he is the one who is going to be making that declaration for the presidential results. So it doesn't matter what your agent or your person told you. Here on the tackle, we are going to be posting what is going to have come from the mandated government office. So we want to wish everybody all the best of luck. Be you from Azimio, be you from Kenya Kwanza, be you from Agano, be you from Roots Party. We salute you and we thank you for wanting to serve Kenyans in that capacity as head of state. And in other capacities, we keep streaming the results online. Even for the presidential, yes, we are streaming as we are getting from the IEBC, but the final tally is going to be done by us as what Wafula Chebukati will have given us, so that we give you what our 2010 constitution has mandated that media houses broadcast and disseminate to the people. So right now you are asked or allowed to go and take a drink. Watu waende wakakule. Ai. Mumekula lunch, hamjakula lunch. Tunawaomba muende, it's 7:30, muende muume kakitu. Vile masaa yanazidi kusonga, tutazidi kuwapa ujumbe ama tutazidi kudisseminate information depending on kile kinakuja kutoka kwa the tackle, from the tackle, live from Nairobi, the green city in the sun. We want to sign out and tell you, keep peace as a Kenyan, and anything that is going to happen, we are going to be communicating to you, and everything is going to be all right. Live on the tackle. My name is Mudhoni. My friends call me Mso. We are live here on the tackle with Gerald Bitok. Sign out. Sisi ni wa Kenya. Steve National Anthem kiasi.
Mungu nguvu yetu. Tukae na
Dear Kenya, 5 years are gone. We are here again. We are here to build a resolute Kenya. We are here to build a peaceful Kenya. We are here to build a better Kenya. It is your right and responsibility to participate in a peaceful, free, fair and credible election. It is your civic right, your religious duty and your social responsibility. My dear Kenya, on 9th August and after the election day, I urge you to pursue peace and prosperity of our beloved country through word and deed. Listen to this. Accept the election results that are announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, appreciating that only the IEBC has the authority to announce election results. Encourage anyone who is dissatisfied with the election results to seek redress in courts of law as provided for in the Constitution of Kenya, and refuse to participate in mass action or demonstrations regardless of provocation or incitement before, during or after the elections. May this be an election with a difference. Do your part, Kenya. Pray for peace, and as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone as recorded in Romans 12 verse 18. Always remember, mimi ni Mkenya, wewe ni Mkenya, sisi ni wa Kenya. God bless Kenya.